Do you want to be a part of the CoCo community? Sure, we all do. So join this free weekly live talk show to find out how easy it is to watch at home and learn about your color computer. At the CoCoNation, more than 9 million men and women have participated in the community without setting foot outside their homes. And now at home in your spare time, you can see what's happening, or even join the discussion. Choose from any one of these segments: panel intros, project updates, acquisitions, CoCo thoughts, featured interviews and events, the Game On Challenge, news, Ron's Garage, CoCo commercials, show coverage, panel goodbyes, or you can join one of our extra shows. You can choose from the Game On Challenge Live or CoCo Tech. Join the CoCoNation right now.
Click the link for the free information TJB Chris spoke about. Then decide if you want to watch the CoCoNation Live Show, the world's leading live weekly talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer, its siblings, cousins, and red-headed stepchildren. Visit thecoconation.com. There is no obligation, and no salesman will visit you. Visit thecoconation.com.
The CoCoNation show is an unscripted, live, and interactive broadcast. Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own, and not necessarily those of the CoCoNation show, its sponsors, affiliates, or subsidiaries. Open minds are encouraged, and a sense of humor is recommended. Thank you for being a part of the CoCoNation.
Radio Shack? Okay.
What?
The 80s called.
Welcome to the CoCoNation, the world's first live and interactive talk show featuring the Tandy color computer and its hardware cousins.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the CoCoNation Show, episode 446. Oh, how's everyone doing today?
Thank goodness it's a new year.
Yeah.
All right.
We made it. Another
Nothing
year.
bad has happened yet.
I survived.
Okay, let's see. In the chat, or not in the chat, in the panel today. And we start off with Juan Castro.
Hello, people. My name is
got
Juan Castro. I am a developer for the CoCo from the classic era, meaning 1984 to 1987 or 88. And I got the retro bug and I started developing things for the CoCo. And I am going to show some of them here now.
And tell us where you're
Good.
from.
Yes, I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
We'll get into interrogating later.
Yeah, we'll get into that. All right.
Good
Next up on the panel, we got Marco.
Howdy there. Glad to be here today. Glad to have Juan on here. His project is really cool. I've been watching it.
And we got Ron Deluxe.
Yes, sir. Here from Arizona,
And
waiting to listen to everything going on.
okay. And yours truly, the button pusher. Next row, Wingnut.
Ron from Delaware. Hello, hello, hello.
And
Hello, Wingnut.
Kevin Holloway.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Very good. And we got Alan.
Howdy, howdy from low Earth orbit. Welcome to the show. Glad you're here.
And Rick Euland.
We've got so many people we don't even have a middle. Howdy, folks.
And Ken Waters.
Hey, that's me. Hi.
Hey, Ken Wilmot.
Hi, yeah, and I'm the other Ken. I can't find my Hawaiian shirt. Sorry.
Well, you're close
so
enough. It kind of
Okay.
tan, yellow.
Looks like you're wearing
It's
a
close.
Canadian
Yeah.
shirt.
All right. Next up, we
Yeah,
got
this is-
Qui-Gon.
yeah.
I'm in Delaware, and just a quick personal update here. You know, I kind of haven't been around a little while because I had some surgery on my bowels and rehabbing from that, and so I get out of rehab on Monday. So healing up, but slowly but surely.
Glad to have you back.
Good to hear.
And we got the world traveler L. Curtis Boyle.
I went to one place a couple weeks ago. But
Covered
yes, welcome to the show,
somewhat of
everyone.
it.
And
Somewhere in the
last,
world.
last but not least, we got Bob Emery.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to the show. I do have a short project update when we get to that. I know I came in a little late.
Mark B is
Okay.
noting that quickly.
Got you on the list. Or otherwise, I'm going to forget.
Right.
In the chat, we've got Kevin Holloway, Michael Zwiffel, J.E. Jones, Exile in Paradise, Brian Blake, Jim Rye, Sixy, Marco,
Yay.
Wayne Campbell, scroll, Coco Living, 7157. Busy today, Tom Eric Gunderson, Brian Blake, L. Curtis, 8-Bits in the Basement, Rick U, and Bill in HSV.
That's Bill Affing.
Bill, I think. Okay.
We hope he never meets Doodle on a motorcycle. That would be-
All right, acquisitions and updates. Let's start off with let's just start off with last week's here. Ken, let's see how long you can get through it this time.
Yeah. It was an interesting exit. I hope
Yeah,
it
I like
doesn't
the zoom
repeat.
effect. Yeah, warp speed.
Oh, yeah.
More
I had to go
MC10
back
disc.
and I went back and watched it just to see what it looked like, and it was quite impressive. So as far as I can remember, I was talking to you about the 6303 line of CPUs, and that area of inquiry is closely related to the MC10, which is sitting here, the Radio Shack MC10 color computer, which is the little brother of the CoCo. Now the MC10 uses a 6803 from Motorola. So again, kind of a little brother of the 6809 that is in the CoCo. It's not as advanced a processor, but it's more advanced than the earlier generation of CPUs that Motorola had, like the 6800. So it's sort of in between, but the very interesting thing about it is that it's not just a CPU, it's an MCU, which means it has peripherals built into the chip, which means it'll run more or less standalone on a board without a lot of other stuff. And the idea back then was, if we're going to embed something in a refrigerator, we want to put a computer in a car or a fridge or a VCR or something like that. It has to be small, it has to be cheap. So we can't have this big board with stuff on it, right? It's got to be all on a chip. So that's what they did. And but Motorola had some dealings with Hitachi in Japan, which is a big manufacturer in Japan. And they hammered out some deals where Hitachi licensed most of Motorola's digital computer, microcomputer components. They were licensed to produce their own versions of them. And they did. And they were, some of them were actually advanced way beyond what Motorola did with them, right? So there's one in particular that is actually a drop-in replacement that you can plug into an MC10. And I don't want to digress onto that too much, other than to say you can do it. And there are some issues that certain things won't work, but it yields a performance improvement, several, so I don't want to go into that too much, but in sort of getting into that whole thing, the drop-in also has a sort of big brother, which is this guy here. I'll try and now I don't have secondary cameras, so I apologize for this. My handshake and everything like this. We have 3D. 3D. No, but
John Candy.
Yeah. But anyway, this is a 64-pin chip. But the pins are smaller together than the normal 0.1 spacing, right? So it's not a huge chip. It's just a little bit bigger. The pins are finer, but it's still a a through hole, but the pins are more closely spaced.
It's exactly the same form factor as the 9900 from Texas.
Which one again?
The 9900 from Texas.
Oh, it's another TI oddball TI.
The TI-99 for a computer. Each CPU is exactly like that.
I'm not sure. I thought that one was also a 10 2 point.
It's 64 pin too. I'm not talking about compatibility. I'm talking about the shape of the ship and of its pins. Also, there's a video processor, the MSX, the more advanced MSX is used, which is the 9958. It's also same form factor.
That one may actually. Really. Yeah, I think the 9938 and the 9958, I do believe, use compressed pins. You know, they're 2 millimeter pins.
Yes.
Anyway, this one, it's a CMOS. And what Hitachi did with this is the 6803 that is in here, Hitachi's version of it is just a compatible clone. It's right across. They just did everything the same. But with this one, they improved on it. So they did some things that make it easier to use. That's a huge digression if I get into what it is, but the pins are not multiplexed the way they are on the 6803. So there's some sharing of pins on the 6803 that is simplified on this because there's no sharing. So they bring out individual pins for all the addresses and everything like that. And it's faster. So this is actually the fastest existing processor that will run 6800 code at 3 megahertz. So it's 30% faster than any other 6801. So basically it's an enhanced 6800, which is 6801, a version called the 6803, and the Y suffix means it's in this form factor and in this slightly different but very, very improved version, right? So I built a board. This is a complete single board computer with 512K RAM, and I think also 512K flash, and it's battery backed up, so the RAM is backed up. It's non-volatile, and I've done with a lot of boards, and actually it's standalone, so you can just plug it into use this USB serial thing to plug right into a computer, and it'll just work like this out of the box, from a USB port. But it also has the expansion port, so you can plug it into a bus that I have. And there's some other boards here. This is this one over here is 6809 system, and on top we have a video and sound board. All of these boards are interchangeable, so I could put that on there, and I would have video and sound and joystick all with this too, if I want to do that. And then, so being interested in this, using this processor a lot, and by the way, there's a very good supply of them from China. Like the cost is extremely low. You can buy them for less than $2 each.
And you don't get fakes, I suppose.
Say again?
And you don't get fakes, I hope.
No,
Fakes,
well,
yeah.
that's another interesting aspect of it, that generally the fakes follow the money. They follow the volume. So if everybody in the world,
Oh, you're still with us.
You're still with us.
Oh, I got a pop-up. I got a warning pop-up. I don't know if I'm talking too fast or what it doesn't like about me. Anyway, yeah, fakes. So the Arduino chip, the AVR CPU that they use, MCU that they use,
328p.
Yes, has been faked and cloned so much because it's popular, right? and but they don't see any money in cloning things that are not as popular. So something like this chip, when you buy it, you can be just pretty much 100% sure that it's real. And where it's coming from is boards. Like they're pulling them off of boards. You can tell because there's solder on the pins. And of course it's a hidden process. You don't know what they're doing over there to do that. It could be a horror story, or it could be very clean with all the anti-static gloves and everything. I doubt it very much. Something in between, probably, right? But when you're buying 30 of them for $40, you're just going to pick the ones that work. But they are all genuine. There's no fakes. So anyway, I started looking around, and early in the process, I was talking to another member of the CoCo Discord, and he had designed a CPU card for this system. This is called the RC. Actually, you can see the logo there. Actually, RC 2014 system. It's a Z80 based system that's designed by some people in the UK, and it's got the idea. It's kind of a modular system. So you'd have, a memory card, clock card, and CPU card. Normally, this would be a Z80 CPU, but you can adapt it. And so I built myself a 6303Y CPU card for the 2014 bus. So I just purchased all this other stuff. I didn't make it. I just ordered it. I ordered the boards. I built them up. It was very cheap. And but I had the board made, of course, right? So I had this board manufactured. And currently I was able to there's some bugs still because it's all very new. A couple of days now since I had it together. But I have my machine code monitor running in from the ROM. It does boot up, it does run the monitor, but there's some problems with the memory board that I'm working on. So this system means that you could have a lot of fun with additional boards that already exist. Like there's a CF card, so you get a disk CF card memory, or there's a video card that you can plug in. This is a 5-slot board. You can get more, but you can mix and match and sort of make up your own system the way you want it. So I thought that was kind of neat. And I'm just working out the bugs. And when it's all finished, it's gonna sort of so I'll have two 6303 boards, and I'm working on software for it. And it'll sort of bridge very easily to the MC10 because there's software almost identical. I mean, the processor is 100%, almost 100% compatible, and there'll be a three-way development going on because there'll be stuff that I can do with the RC 2014. There'll be stuff that I can do with the 6303Y, and there'll be stuff that I can do with the MC10, and the software, it'll be the same software with minor interface changes, to work on all three different systems. So that's kind of where I'm going with that right now. Oh, before I leave you, and before I disappear into the future, possibly, if they call me back, there is ongoing work on this this 6809 system, but I'd like to tell you about it, but maybe next time because it could get quite lengthy. That's all. That's my update.
Cool.
Very.
I didn't know there was a
Okay.
64-pin version of the 603 type thing.
That wasn't in my bingo card.
Right? Especially in that weird TI pin spacing. I didn't know anyone else did that.
Are most of the
I
extra lines
guess-
like for memory addressing, or are they for IO lines, or what are the extra pins between 40 to 64?
It's for not using the same pins for address bus and data bus. You have 16 pins for the address bus and more 8 pins for the data bus. Right there, you have 24 pins just for addressing, whereas in some other 8-bit processors,
They have to share.
they're sharing.
Yeah.
That's one cycle in which it acts as address, another cycle in which it adds as data, and you can have a chip with less pins. Sometimes they're sharing even with the high and low part of the address. I cannot tell you from memory which processor use that, but there are some really three-way sharing processors that use that. Half of the address plus data in 3 different cycles. Not very optimal.
Yeah, there's 8. They say they had to add 8 pins for the extra 8 address line.
Right.
Yes.
So to avoid all the external multiplexing, put a couple more pins on the CPU and fudge the little
And
tiny
so it
together
comes
and-
out faster because you're not having to waste cycles trying to put out part of a
Yeah, you
bus
don't
and
have
then
to switch
switch
to
over to the
multiplex
other part of the
between-
bus.
And it's
Faster,
cheaper because you
simple.
don't need the external decoding to do all the
Right.
pin flipping back and forth. Yeah.
All right. Next up, how about Rick? And then we'll do Bob.
Sure, I'm going to jump right in behind Ken with a
And I
product
think-
endorsement.
I think Ken disappeared too.
Yeah, he
I
did.
think
Oh, he zoomed off again. Wow.
Yep, the ether finally got him.
Oh, I got
So anyway, I'm going to jump right behind him with a product endorsement. I found this thing on Amazon, which was sold as a what was it? It's
a lamp stand,
iPad holder, floor stand, bedtime, sleep display, something or other. And it was cheap. It was like $20-something. And you can hang a webcam off of it. It would hold an iPad, but you can just hang a webcam off of it as I've done. And this is all the way down. And doing that, it provides my my B-roll kind of stuff like this. So
Nice.
I can draw on my CoCo and you can see it and you can see my side video capture and stuff. And it was dirt cheap. So if you have a need to do something like this, I didn't find it today, this morning, but this is what the SnowCam was done. It's absolutely rock steady. If you've got to do some work on your bench, you just kind of pull it over your shoulder, extend it up, pull over your shoulder and point it down, and it's got the same viewpoint you do.
Gooseneck.
Very
like
handy
it.
device. So, and it was inexpensive because if you look for something like this for podcasting and photography, it's going to be $100. So look for the bedtime iPad holder sleep view.
I want one. I want one.
Very, very
I
handy
think Brian
gimmick.
Weezer could use one of those too.
Yeah, we all can, because I had all kinds of desktop solutions and they all vibrate and jiggle. And, you know, even if you mount it on the wall jiggles when the AC comes on and stuff. So,
Or a vehicle drives by.
Right, or a vehicle drives by. So go with the floor mount, and life is good. Let's see what else have we got. I'm just going to introduce a question. We can run our funky little question and answer blurb in a future show, but I need to learn about data modules because my my Trek game, which we're viewing in the side window here, really needs to share data between a bunch of disparate things. So anyway, I'll just leave that behind me as where I'm headed. I put a new thing on GitHub. We're starting to split this off. It's got save files now, and we're starting to add in the AI. Well, the AI is starting to work. There's a lot of bugs in it, but
you're talking about a data file that multiple processes can share?
A data module. So while the machine is running, I can have 4 or 5 basic processes sort of sharing data with each other, which exists for OSK. And if you try to Google OS9 data modules, you will find all kinds of stuff on OSK, but not OS9. Although I remember
it is supported under
exists.
OS9. The problem was they didn't make a way to create them on the fly. So you'd have to like pre-make one and then load it in.
Okay, well, that's not the end of the world. It'd be easier than a RAM disk and all the futzing around that requires, I think. In any case, cool, because we're at the point right now to make room for everything. We've got let's see, the creating the game, spying on the game, or in other words, doing debug, running the game, are all separate processes that are all in different windows. And I'm sharing things by files right now, which is slower than send even on an SD card. So yeah, data modules are in my near future, because I'm trying to. I mean, we're trying to go meta here. I'm going to turn this into what would be a clever way? I had a clever way to say it. I don't remember right now. Making it. I want to make the game the game. So you can invent your own game. Trek is the example game for this engine, which will have network sharing and all this other crap. And then you can pretty easily make your own game on top of this, which I had a nice little speech written, and I don't have it in front of me, so I can't speak it right now. But anyway, this is where we're headed. I am working on things, and there is stuff on GitHub. If you want to read about how making the game might be a game, you could go there. And oh yeah, thank you, Mark.
Of course.
And read all about it, because this is going to be something I want to push forward. We can all have our own pinball construction set, except it's adventure games.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
my weekend. Okay, so my microphone's gone.
It's back.
Yeah, we heard you.
Oh, yeah, I heard everything.
Oh, okay. Zoom decided I needed my JBL mic, which is here.
Okay.
And who's next up?
All right. How about Bob?
Looking at Bob.
All right, I guess that's me. So we switch to my other camera here, even though I do not have a computer here.
Oh, that's kind of a boring shot.
So you guys know that most
shot.
of my projects are related to video output, and I've been dealing with the GBS 8200. And my problem with that is that it's always just, there's no container for it, and it's just a bunch of wires and sitting out in the middle of nowhere.
That's because you're supposed to mount it in an arcade cabinet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm not using it for an arcade cabinet, but I had a bunch of these boxes show up, or not show up, but they're for a KVM network that quit working. So these were going in the trash.
Nice.
And this is a nice
metal
box. Ventilated.
Rubber feet.
Very thin rubber feet.
And mount on the back, yeah.
It's a DVI cable. So inside that is basically garbage. Very advanced.
Very high-tech
circuitry.
garbage. But
Yeah.
Ethernet port. and DVI.
I just had the thought that a GBS 8200 might fit inside that case.
And
it did. So I made up a bunch of these circuit boards, which is basically it's an adapter that will hold the microcontroller for the GBS control.
Mhm.
Move my camera a little bit closer to it here.
Need one of those gooseneck things.
Right, just pull it over your shoulder and aim down.
Why don't you email me one of those, Rick?
20-pound email.
Anyway, yeah. So let's see if I can.
Up. Too low. There we go.
Right, why don't cameras
All
just
right.
shoot a little light out the front so you can just put it in the light in your frame?
Yeah, right. So you can see I have here the normal 5-volt input, just a 10-pin ribbon cable that should plug right into a CoCo 3.
So what is the daughter board with the what is
ESP
that daughter
32
board
on it?
doing? Yeah.
So basically that's just your interface that lets you plug in power, RGB input, and then it's holding this ESP32, and that converts the GBS 8200 into GBS control, which is an upgraded firmware.
Yeah.
And so like these 3 wires here, the red, yellow, black, those are actually clock data and the debug pin going straight to that controller chip. You have to jumper the debug jumper. And that's pretty much it. You download the firmware and it's like you just loaded it up over USB. There's no special programming needed. And then once it's in there, this gives you Wi-Fi. It creates its own little mini ad hoc network that you can log into with your phone and control the settings and whatnot. But
Bluetooth or Wi-Fi?
Basically, Wi-Fi.
Okay.
You can set it to log into your existing network, or you can just log into its personal network that it creates. The fan that was in there, I went ahead and I just notched it a little so I could rotate it slightly so I didn't have to remove the VGA connector there. So I will, the fan plugs in up here.
Nice solution.
Yeah. My
If you
RGB
run out of those
cord.
cases, you make a new adapter board and move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
The RGB and the power cord are the ones that came with the GBS. Plugs right in here. The other thing that I'm going to do that I kind of had to build this before I can go further, but I got the VGA to HDMI, and that's going to sit inside here, and
Nice.
right like so. And then underneath that HDMI, that's a 5-volt. That's just a USB socket that you can use for 5-volt power externally. So the brick that is powering this that I have that come with the boxes is like 4 amps. So you could literally plug in like a 2-amp circuit to that 5-volt
All I can say
USB
is
socket.
now I can sell some more of them HDMI adapters that are just HDMI to HDMI that are 1 inch long, and people wonder what the heck they're for. It's so they can fit a socket that's fitting right next to another socket like that. Because
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen on some HDMI cables have like a connector on the end of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
in
unfortunate
the chat,
thing is it has to be upside down. Go ahead.
okay. In the chat, Kevin Holloway is asking, like when that case is all closed up, how well is the Wi-Fi getting out?
I don't know yet. Luckily, I don't have to go very far. I'm not going to be controlling this from the front of the house or anything.
Oh, and
But
it's got air
if
holes.
I need
So,
to,
yeah.
yeah, there
So
are
a little
some air
signal leak
holes,
out.
but if
Yeah, you
yeah,
can
and
stick
if I needed to, I could cut a little window there. Apparently, 6x3 centimeter window would be perfect for the
Oh, yeah,
2.4
you could
gigahertz.
put some kind of fake display in it so the Wi-Fi
Yeah.
can shoot out and you can't. It's not obvious. Yeah.
Does the
Right.
does that module support external antennas?
Oh, no.
This one doesn't, but it could probably be done.
Okay.
And the other thing that don't really,
Oh, little speaker.
yeah, I got a little speaker, and one of these little amplifiers can just plug right in here. I got a little female header there. Just put a 4-pin header on here, and it'll plug in. And then 2 pins for the speaker output.
Nicely done.
There will be, that's the one thing I'm going to have to cut. I don't need those. Is there will be a volume control knob here that will turn the amplifier off and on and let you control the volume of that speaker. So, and I'm making a limited run of these, probably, I don't know, 6 or 10 of them, just because I have that many boxes.
Nice.
And I have a theory on this little HDMI thing because it lets you inject audio. So I already have the socket here to take the audio from the board. But my thought is if that's a switching jack, I could also plug in an 1/8" input, and then you could inject the like a stereo pack. Have that going straight to your HDMI output. So
Nice. Oh.
just a fun little project.
Okay.
Cool.
Okie dokie. All right. And now I'm trying to think of a nice, good intro, but hey, we'll just go ahead and go for it. Juan, you're up next.
Hello. Well, the story of this project that I'm working on begins in 1985 when I was hired by a company in Rio de Janeiro called LZ, and they developed a clone of the color computer, which is this machine here. And I worked at that company programming assembly language utility routines for their corporate clients. They sold it to small companies, and they would make bespoke networks, and my job was to put new functionalities in the ROM. My lifeline was the unraveled books. These are modern. These are not the copies I used back then. And there was one thing in the color computer I did not like: 32 columns by 16 lines. I found that pitiful. There was a text editor, which we used back then, called Super Color Write. Most people in the color community, which are from that era, probably remember that editor.
Yeah,
I didn't
Nelson
find
Software
it.
Systems, and later got renamed
Nelson
VIP Writer. Yeah.
Yes, VIP Writer. Maybe I will look for that one.
That's the later version. They renamed the whole series when they did VIP Library. So,
so this editor draw characters in the graphic mode using P mode 4, and it was 51 or 64 characters per line with 24 lines, which was perfectly adequate to edit code. I like that editor, and I had a nagging thought: why doesn't BASIC use that? Wouldn't it be nice if I could program in BASIC in the graphic screen like that, instead of just using a text editor? And I had an idea: someday I will start that project. Someday I will start that project. Eventually, I started that project in 2012. It was a procrastination of only 27 years, but okay. So I did it. I did it on utility, which is called Cachars, CACHARS, which you can load it in a stock CoCo and have BASIC with this letter. So from there, I thought, why don't I make a ROM? Because you see, the disk BASIC use only half of the space that's available. There's 16K, which could have more ROM with more functionalities. Why doesn't it? I know PROM chips are expensive, and this controller would be more expensive, and it would take more time to develop. But why doesn't somebody do something like that? So
there were some third parties like JDOS and ADOS that did use that, probably similar to what you did, but I don't think too many of them did the graphics character stuff. So that's the most
my name begins with J, but JDOS was taken, so I I made a patch, a big hulking patch to HDB-DOS, and I called HDB-DOS 16. For a fraction of a second, it will look normal. You have color basic now in P mode 4 with these characters.
Nice.
Now, how much free RAM does this leave? Like, are you using the upper
you're in P
32K
mode 4,
bank?
so you have 6K less because the graphics screen has 6K. How much memory do I have? This much.
That's standard 32K for a ROM. So I was wondering if you maybe moved the screen up into the upper RAM or something.
No, I didn't. This is how much memory you get if you use the graphics mode at all. If you don't use graphics mode, you have like P mode 1 and PCLEAR 1, you'll have more than this. But
yeah, that's true. But that basic by default takes a P mode 4, like basically 4 pages reserved. So even if you power up at a text mode, that's the default.
Yes, and you can go back to the text mode like this. There. But that's not the only thing it has. Let's go thing by thing. First, we have CoCo 3 functions, some of them, but all tokens are recognized. Okay, it's 1.1 and print, let's say, wrap. And then let's go back to the 0.10. There, it went to the cursor and now it says crap right. You saw that coming, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's one thing we have. What else?
So I just want to mention the nice thing about that, if you've got some 40 column, text events or something that were written on the CoCo 3 that only use the 40 column, that's the only CoCo 3 functions they use. You can use this to actually just directly load it and run it without having to do any other further changes.
Precisely. And there's another nice side effect, which I only thought about much later, which is, let's say you like to give redundant names to your variables and you're programming in a CoCo 2, and you call one of your variables HSET. It's all fun and games while you're in a CoCo 2. If you try to bring this program to CoCo 3, it will give you a syntax error.
Yeah, because it wants a token for HSET, because that's a reserved command.
Yes, HSET is a token. But if you're using this ROM, you get an error straight away because the CoCo 3 tokens are recognized. There are a few things I had to fudge to get predictable behavior, like I had to mess with the print routine so that print at worked. I have the high characters, and I use the Windows character set. Let's go back to the character map. Sorry. CHR map. 64 column and 51 column. These here are Windows 1252 character set. So if you write a text file in Notepad in Windows 95, it will show correctly here. What else? Oh, if you have an autoexec.bas, this program 16 auto here, do you see my mouse cursor?
Yep, we do.
Yes.
Let's rename this program to autoexec.bas. That's from HDB-DOS. It will run on autoexec. It wasn't invented by me. It just print a message. Now, if you do a reset, it goes back to text. Because if I'm presuming the person who's using this might have an autoexec.bas that doesn't expect to be in graphics mode. So if there's an autoexec.bas, I go back to, for compatibility.
Yeah.
Locate. This one I can't demonstrate because I don't have the hardware, but in principle, it should work. If anybody wants to test with a 2-button joystick in a CoCo 2, that should work. And the button function from BASIC should work. Should.
Wow.
I can't promise anything. You already noticed that the directory this thing uses as much width as possible. Let me show you. 3 names per column, okay? Let's go to the 64. Four. We have more.
That's nice because a standard 32 by 16 default there, you can run out of screen pretty darn quick if you got more than 15 files on there. Yes.
Yeah. 0. Oops.
Oh, you at least have 2 columns there too. So.
Yeah, I didn't have that much. Yeah. I forgot that. In 32 column mode, you can fit 2. I don't think it does like that in stock ROM, does it?
No, stock is just single.
Yeah. Sometimes I had nice side effects that I didn't predict.
Like you've also got, it shows what drive number you did it on because you're using whatever the default drive is. And it also shows you the free space, which you normally only get with stuff like ADOS or JDOS.
This isn't mine. This is HDB-DOS stock. Okay.
Yeah.
I shouldn't call it stock, but it's okay. Compared to my thing, it's stock. And there's this thing. Timer out. You know timer.
Yeah.
But it wraps up in some 15 minutes or so. Timer equals. And we wait a little, and in this time, it already wrapped it up. It wrapped it up. But now there's timer L. We wait a little. No, we can have more than 60K, 64K timer ticks.
So is this a 24-bit timer now, or 32?
It's 32 bits.
Okay. Because the deluxe CoCo Itsa ROMs had a longer timer too, but I think it was just 24 if I remember.
I'm longer than that. Oh, there's another nice thing. Let's count seconds. Timer for, let's say, 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now.
Bingo.
Well, that's cool.
Oh,
that reminds me of the sleep command.
Let's not stop there. You can do floating point. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So could you write a routine to play a sound after that 4.5 seconds is done?
But does the sound
Yeah, if you do timer 4 play quote a quote, it should play something in.
It's a busy loop. I don't think we can do much thing unless we had a speech sound pack. Then we could. It stops and then it does. We don't have any kind of synchronicity in the CoCo, unfortunately.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we heard the sound there, but you might have just not shared it in Zoom.
Ah, I forgot.
So you can't do something while the timer is running.
No, it's more like just a pause type thing, like
it's a pause.
like a sleep command in OS 9.
Yes, it's the sleep system call from Unix implemented with in here you see the Lego thing I had to do with the tokens. I do not want to create more tokens because it's
you're just repurposing some of them for different features.
Yes, timer L isn't a new function. It's timer followed by a letter L, which would be a syntax error, and now it means something. Same thing. What else do we have? Oh, this is cool. 51 looks prettier. Well, what are okay.
Oh wow.
The old trick of copying BASIC to RAM. I'm doing this with this program. The Simpsons reference is just in the BASIC program. Okay, let me show you. The command is hsatman copy. hsatman copy copies the ROM to RAM and switches to RAM. hsatman just switches to RAM. It assumes you already did a hsatman copy previously. hresetman goes back to the ROM. Notice it says yo instead of okay. Now I go back to ROM. Oh, sorry. Okay. Error. No need to copy again. Error. Duh. And in this condition, you can go through unravel and poke to your heart content. Patch it however you like. Oh, the colors. This is nice. Let's go back to the hsat color 1.
Oh wow.
hsat color 3. Inverse.
They're gonna loop colors.
And there's one more.
Wow.
Oh, so that must be for the T1 chip, right?
For that, you use this hsat lsat 1.
Okay, excuse me for my very noob question, but you're using Basic 09 right now?
Nope. Just regular HTTP DOS basic.
HTTP DOS color basic. What else? Oh,
So basically, you're supporting inverse video on both the orange-red screen and on the dark green screen. And if you have a T1, you also support true lowercase.
Yes. I just redefined the basic print, the output character, so that if it's called 65 uppercase A, I output the inverse.
So a quick question for you, because I know some of the third-party DOSes did this, some didn't. Do you accept lowercase commands then without it giving you an error, or does it still have to
Not
be
yet,
uppercase?
and that is a nice thing to put in my to-do.
Yeah, because I think ADOS, if I remember, one of the ADOSes supported that, where you could actually type in lowercase and it would work fine.
These are all the things I plan to do.
I like the 51 column because back in the day we had a graphic 51 column which was dog slow but worked, and so some programs have been written for that format, and now they
Yeah,
can
like
be
stuff written for the
fast.
solution or the OPAC, or there's a whole bunch of third party.
Stuff
Just
I
all they
wrote
did
in
was the graphics.
basic, yeah. And now that could be fast.
Screen Machine, Screen 64.
All you need is an extended disk basic ROM. Just that.
Yeah, it's
Nothing
a 16K ROM, right?
16K ROM, hence the name. Okay. HSAT. No, that only works in the. See the cursor. It's an underline, slightly thicker underline than the normal underline. Okay. HSAT input.
Oh, so you can change your cursor to be any character you can
Yes.
type, basically.
Yeah, plus why not?
Reminds me of Flex.
Right?
What else? Oh, fast. Let's do something. Let's go to text mode or not. Okay. No. Where did I put that? Okay.
So is there a disk title? Because I noticed like when you did the dir before, you
Yes.
got HDB DOS
Not
16
mine.
example program disk.
Not mine, HDB DOS stock. They do this.
Okay. Yeah, just for people that aren't familiar with HDB DOS, let me point these out. There's some extra things here
It's
that
like this. Rename. Drive 1, comma. Works like that. Not mine.
I like how it says yo after every command, like prompting you. That's pretty cool.
Let's leave it like that, shall we?
Stick with
yo, man, yo.
Yeah,
Yo.
I can deal with that.
Don't give a cow, man. What else? Oh, fast mode. It's much more visible here. Third, drive 0. There. Okay. HSAT F. There. I'm using the poke to the SAM that puts the processor in high-speed mode, but only when it's accessing the ROM.
Oh wow. Okay.
Let's do something new. But it's not. Oh, I'm with DOS in RAM. There's no effect. H reset mem. It's a bit more spry, isn't it? The cursor.
Yeah, now we're moving.
This definitely moving faster. Yeah.
10. I'm equals 0.
Okay, starting a loop.
Yes. How much? I hope it isn't too much. Okay, 232
Okay, now
cycles.
slow us down and we'll wait.
Let's
wait.
That's about a third faster then.
Yes, about a third faster, depending on what you're doing. If your processing has the CPU just getting things from RAM, you'll have essentially zero speed up. But you're using VROM. If you're running,
if you're in the ROM mode, then the ROM speed up like HDB DOS with your extensions is all in there. How much faster is the graphics text rendering when you switch between?
A bit. Let's do that. Oh. Oh, I do have. I do. I don't need it. I have it. The 2 character maps. I time it.
There you go. Yeah.
1.2, 1.6. Now let's. It already does this. Remember 1.2, 1.6?
1.633.
0.9, 1.1.
Wow.
See,
that's good.
About a half second faster, yeah.
There's a lot of code being executed in ROM, and there's the character set pixels being taken from the ROM too. So, okay, it has a good portion of ROM access, and they do get faster, and they don't screw up the video, because there's a polite poke and the unpolite poke, which screws with video sync.
Yeah, unless you have a CoCo 3, it doesn't care.
Yes.
Or Sam Doubler, that actually works too.
H points. This is a maintenance function which I return. Let's do something. Let's. You already know what will happen now. I'm calling XROR. Oh. I detect the 6389 and you know if what else? I have a function to this. I want to run the basic in native mode. I haven't done that yet. But when I do this function will work. Oh, the RAM thing. Let's bring back the yo. It knows it's in RAM. I just poke a byte and see if it's poked, and I poke it back. Yes, I'm in RAM. A very innocent byte in a message or something. This returns the address of a useful data area. Not much usefulness. Oh, this one is nice. H.4. $60 means 60 hertz. Now
that's NTSC.
That's NTSC. Now let's not do NTSC. It looks different, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
50.
So now it's PAL.
You know what that means? Now we wait a little, we wait a little. This will give you seconds. Oh, sorry. Why did I put parentheses there? Brain fart.
I thought it was a new command I hadn't seen yet.
Nope, nope, nope. 28 seconds, .96.
Did you start?
Oh.
Yeah, because you're dividing it by the clock frequency, which is either 50 or 60. That means you can auto-adapt if you want to do a pause of like 30 seconds. You'll actually get 30 on both NTSC and PAL without having to prompt the user or anything. It'll just automatically figure it out.
You can say how many seconds were elapsed by a routine. You can time things reliably. Remember that timer for number, internally, it does the same thing. It takes into account this value. Timer for 3.5. Half, 3, 2, 1, 0. See? No slowdowns. This is for development. It gets the address of the font. Oh, this is nice. I'm surprised that HDB-DOS stock doesn't have this already. It could. Oh, and this is needed. Form feed. A form feed in the drivewire protocol. Oh, damn. I'll get it eventually. I'll get it.
It's all right, man. Work with it.
Then let's go to the. Do you see the drive wire? The screen. Yeah. Flushed print job 2. Okay. Now, here's the thing. If you get this file, you get nothing, but you did get something. Problem is, it uses carriage returns with no line feeds. So
Okay.
I'm using the Linux utility.
There it is.
There it is. This is, in my opinion, something that should be in the stock HDB-DOS with ROMs that have the drivewire protocol. It was very, very simple to implement. What else? Oh, there's a flag to disable this if you want it. But
if I remember, I think Mac OS 10 by default does handle CR because that's kind of the Mac standard, so it actually lists the CoCo files fine.
I'm not a Mac person, so I
mean, they're kind of running Unix underneath, but
I know nothing of the history. I know that for a long time, line terminations were only character 13, not 10.
Yeah, and DOS uses both. You need both of them.
Both. And Unix uses only 10. That's crazy.
Right.
Standards, there's so many of them.
Yep. This is nice. $4 billion and change.
Oh, so you've expanded the hex beyond 16-bit. Is that 32-bit too then, if you're allowed?
Hex and oct. but nobody cares about oct.
No, unless you used like a PDP back in the day.
Oh, floating hex.
4 billion. Oh,
Not that much float.
when I am typing and
Yeah, I
not
thought
in
that was
front
an
of
array,
the
an awfully
entire
big one.
word, and when I'm not in front of the entire word typing, I type with much more accuracy. I promise you.
Oh, you're doing better than I do anyway. You're fine.
But there's this thing too.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I can do bitmaps.
Simple as that.
So
But
bin
that's-
string, did you steal the token from like .bin or something? Like, how is that a new token?
There's no token involved. It's just the at, the ampersand, and a letter H or O. I added the option for the letter B. Just that.
Yeah,
And,
for the printing the
token,
number,
the
but
bin dollar, the bin dollar. Yes,
Yeah.
the bin dollar is a new token, and that, my friend, comes from I discovered in the CoCo 3 tokenizing and the tokenizing routines. They have the CoCo 3 has 4 token tables: color, extended, disk, and super extended. But there's the bug is that the tokenizing and the tokenizing happens one value ahead of what it should be. So
yeah, they
there's
skipped one.
They skipped one, and then I used that skipped one for bin dollar.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe I will create new tokens in a future version or not. Oh, another thing. There's another thing I'm not exactly sure, which is this bin dollar 5. I always output all 32 characters.
Oh, okay. So 32-bit.
In fact, really, I think the 2 forms are useful. The left zeros truncated one, which is the standard for hex dollar, and I wasn't going to change the standard. Or this. Maybe I could have a variable to control this. Maybe I do something like that.
Well, the other option would be you could just do a write string of however many bits you actually need.
Yes. If I know it's an 8-bit quantity, I can just use write dollar, comma 8.
Yeah, if you use, say, comma 8, for example, then you would just take 1 byte's worth of the least significant byte of the value.
What is? Oh, on error, Arno and Arlene work like in the CoCo 3. Let's go back to our screen. We have more space here. Okay. Did deserves a list before. I'm forcing errors. This is the CoCo 3 syntax, which is different from the CoCo Deluxe syntax. I use the CoCo 3 because it's a production machine.
Yeah.
I eventually will want to do the on break, but I haven't done that yet. It's in the to do. The on air works. So I divide by that number. I make a string out of that number. I raise the number to its own power. I get the character, and if all of that works, I say this was okay. But we had an error 5, and now we can go to our. If you have a reference for the CoCo.
So the error numbers would be the same as the CoCo 3 ROM?
Yes, the error codes are the same. Error 4 this time. Error 4 here too. 50, we have 26, we have overflow. No, 27. 0, error 10. We have the proper errors and the line. We had error in this.
Nice.
See, that's the division. That's where the error occurred. Oh, and there's a thing. Examining this value when you went back to direct mode does not work in the CoCo 3. With my changes, it does.
Yeah, it just gives you an error if you try to do it directly, like right from the prompt, right?
Yes.
CoCo 3?
Let me see.
I mean, I haven't programmed CoCo 3 Basic in quite a while, but I seem to recall that.
Overflow. 5. But in this case, Erlin is -1 because I am in direct mode.
Yeah, CoCo 3 doesn't handle that at all.
Doesn't.
I can't remember if
LP.
Deluxe Basics did, but I know they had non-error there too, but it was still a little bit different.
2-byte pick and poke.
Nope, you got a spelling mistake.
Whoa. Great for grabbing addresses.
And there's your
It
okay.
takes 2-byte. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe.
AB. Nice for getting an address. Oh, I have a good one. Using that. No, there. Dump basic. Okay. I made a routine which you can merge to make a dump of the basic problem with X, like with X dump. It has lots of LPs.
Well, that's nice. I imagine this one run quite a bit faster with the speed up poke enabled in ROM mode too.
Let's.
Sure.
He's a wizard like Simon is.
Yep, faster. So there's all kinds of internal pointers that I get without picking instead of having to 256 times pick of this,
yeah,
plus pick of that. That's a pain in the butt.
And you still have your original peek and poke, so you can still do 8-bit values if you want. But if you're grabbing, like you said, addresses from a table or something, this is much easier and faster.
Oh, this is a nice one. What am I? Where did I put that program, damn it?
You have to add a search function now.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Wait till you get older.
I'm still getting over widening up to 51 columns. Now we gotta expand this a little for.
Yeah, let me just talk about it. You can use the expression go to X as if it was, oh, I think I number one. You
Oh, so you can assign a line number to a variable and call it. Is that my understanding right?
No, I have nothing here. I just put a very long. I can use go to as if it was. I remember. Drive number 0.
You're gonna pull a go-to label on this?
Yes. No. I don't have that yet. So I have a graphics function that plots function. You put the function in a line. Let's take a look at this. Where's the function? The function, yes, line 180. 180. Instead of the function, we can just put it like this. No column. It's an expression. No. Let's say the program comes from where you loaded it, like this, and then you run. And if you renumber the program,
Oh, wow.
because it has a go-to token before it, the renum function, which hasn't been altered in any way, shape, or form, understand that and corrects that, and it becomes an expression for the correct line. So
that's cool.
That will be a little faster. Good old hyperbola. Of course, this program can only work like that because on error works. Or else, as soon as it went out of range, the program would abort.
Oh, it would die, yeah. So do you clear that? Like you just call on error without an error number and it's gone?
Let me show you how this is. Where is it? On ergo 21564. That's where I have to ignore that X coordinate and go to the next and try again.
I think what Rick was asking though is how do you shut off on air go to? Like if you want to not have error checking for a chunk because you're trying to debug it or something, do you just do on air to shut it off?
Right.
You just do on air by itself.
I don't know if I implemented that.
Okay. Yeah, because CoCo 3 basically you just type on air by itself and it basically cancels on air until you specify a line number again.
Right. So typically you would jump to a line number. The first thing that line number would do is turn off the override and put normal error correcting back on and do whatever. And that way, if you immediately got a second error,
run clears the error always. When you do a new or start a program, it clears the error information. Yeah. There's that. What else? Oh, nice. That trick is by Alan Huffman. The next one.
I think it's safe to say if it's there, Alan Huffman's walked through it and looked around and reported back on it.
Should be Itsa software.
Exactly.
I can't be clear too little depending on my P mode. That's normal. And now
P mode
should
0,
have-
you could do 1 page, but P mode 1 and 2 will require 2.
Yeah, let's do that. P modes. I already have more. P mode 0, okay. P clear 1, okay. I have more. Now that's
Now, do you support P clear 0 now?
Yes. Oh, you of little faith.
Because that's a pain in the butt. You have to do pokes and repoint the start of basic pointers and all that crap.
Scratch your back and rub your tummy while you pat your head and all kinds of.
You have to take care of a lot of things, and it still isn't. There's a level of stable this thing can't achieve because there's always the graphic functions. You don't have any more graphics pages, and you still have functions like point and line and whatnot. And it will clobber your basic program, but you have to be informed. No, don't do that. You are in text mode and you need that much memory. You don't have the right to do graphics thing and not screw up your computer.
How complicated to block those calls if you're in PCLEAR. Yeah, that's a whole.
Yeah, as 60's pointing out in the chat, he said to do it on a regular CoCo without your patch there, it takes 2 pokes, a PCLEAR 1, then another 2 pokes. I remember another one being poke 25, 14, poke 3584, 0, new, which would do a PCLEAR 0, but it wipes out the program in memory, so you have to rerun or relaunch.
Start over and do it.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. This is much easier. I like this.
What else? We're not done yet. Oh, ha, ha, ha. This is nice. What? We need PCLEAR 6 to be able to get back. See, that's where the program used to reside with all those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the garbage. Yeah.
It's now visual.
Here's your tokens.
Trippy.
Take a picture of it and read it back from your phone to your CoCo. Yeah, it'll be good.
It's a QR code for the CoCo now. Not quite.
So this emulator must be pretty good if it can handle all this stuff, huh?
Yes. It's exceptionally good. I don't know how precise it is for the CoCo 3, but for the CoCo 1 and 2, I think it's perfect.
Is XROR you running?
Is what?
Is it XROR that you're running?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, just ask Karen, the author of XROR. He's in the chat right now.
Oh, yeah, you can say anything.
I loaded a program that is in ASCII, and I have all these strings in Portuguese and French, and they work.
Oh,
I had to fudge with the line input and the crunch uncrunch routines from BASIC. The detokenizer. The detokenizer tokenizes everything and shows basic keywords where it shouldn't. I had to insert a logic to count how many double quote characters I passed through, and if it's an even number, do not detokenize.
Say this is exceptional for CoCo display. I mean, look.
It's good if you are in text mode and you want to use block characters too. Of course, in text mode, I don't have accents. They become
not so pretty, but
yes,
more colorful, but not so pretty.
Still prettier than a bunch of basic keywords.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking you've pushed the CoCo into places where the Alice isn't as good. I mean, come on, this is competitive.
Tudo é ótimo. with with an acute accent on the O. Everything is optimal.
No, this is you're running like a patch or whatever to make this work. Can it be in a ROM?
Yes.
That's the whole point. That's when the double speed works.
This is
It
the
is.
ROM.
It is in a
yes.
ROM.
Okay.
This is the party.
Now you can run it in RAM mode like he was doing when he was copying it to RAM type stuff there. It'll run, you won't be able to run high speed though then.
It won't,
really-
Now-
it will not run at high speed.
When you're talking HTB DOS should do this, this may be HTB DOS doing this. We don't know. No? Change the initial. Move on.
Whoops.
I wonder if this would be a good test to see if VCC can keep up.
Oh, right. Or how
Let's
badly
refresh them.
yeah.
This didn't work previously. If you have a text file with accented characters, they came in all garbled. It zeroed out the 8-bit of every character. Now it no longer does that. And there was no reason to do that in the first place.
No, because you'd be printing out graphic characters at that point.
Yep.
Now you've got to get all your currencies in one line. We have euros and pounds. You've got to get.
We're almost done. No, we're not almost done. We're done. We're done.
So
that's all the things.
So
does
far.
this all translate to printing well?
Yes. Oh, let's do that.
Oh, you're doing a graphics printing thing? Nice.
Let's go to the Portuguese and French texts. L list. Oh. Oh, we didn't flush. We need to flush. Interesting. Close pound -2 does nothing. You have to output a form fit character. That's the drivewire server, how it was implemented.
Yeah, character string 12 or same as a CLS from a lot of machines.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
So you're printing to a file, basically.
Yes.
It shows, and then it would do the same on a printer.
No. My Linux, well, like every modern Linux, is configured to Unicode, not for ISO.
Okay.
But Vim convert is correct. There is, there's a slight difference between the Windows character set and the ISO character set. The Windows character set has more options, and that's the one I'm using. That's why the OE fused character from the word cœur in French came up wrong, but all the other characters are okay. You could always write your French with an O and an E instead of that word fused character.
So you know English, French, and Portuguese?
I don't know that much French. I know Portuguese, Spanish, and English.
Mm.
I did study French 1 year in order to do a college admission exam, and I am somewhat capable of reading French texts, but not that well.
So let me ask you, do you ever get confused with some of the words? Like You know, because they'll be similar or something, or no?
No, not really. I think
he's not old
I
enough yet.
have more difficulty now.
Oh, he's not old enough yet. That's perfect.
Yeah, right. When you get older, you'll start throwing words from the wrong language in as you talk. But he's not that old.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. I have you know where this happens the worst? Spanish.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that much interaction with Spanish speaking people other than people from my family, and most of their families speak Portuguese in normal use. So
well, what is Portuguese close to? Is it close to anything, or is it its own thing?
It's a bit closer to Spanish than to other Latin languages.
Right, so like Italian.
There is one minority language in Spanish, which is Galician. It's almost an intermediate between Portuguese and Spanish, and a bit sideways with some weird spelling. My parents are from Galicia, but they are not Galician speakers. Only about 15% of Galician have Galician as their main language.
I like the sideways word spelling. The grammar Nazis must have a lot of fun.
Echo. Feedback.
Whoa.
Who's that?
Oh, Wingnet logged in twice.
That's me. Is that me?
It happens.
I think you were saying hello to yourself. Yeah.
I think the screen sharing is no longer needed now.
Well, nice job, man. I'm
it's great.
Greatly.
Yeah, I like you're adding some CoCo 3 compatibility, which makes porting some of the text programs that need a 40-column screen much easier to make for both. It's support for the T1 VDG, which I wish the original BASIC did.
Carrying those old 51-column programs forward is...
In fact, the original BASIC went out of its way to disable the advanced features of the 6857 whenever it could, every chance it got.
Right.
Huh. Crazy.
I had to intercept a lot of things and alter code in a lot of places, so the enabled features stayed enabled.
Now, did you program it where you're doing these new features within the main code, or do you make them all extensions where you jump out so you can try to maintain backwards compatibility for entry addresses for all these different routines?
I try to maintain backwards compatibility as much as I can. I think I've been pretty successful in that. Everything is in the form of in the disk ROM. It's always in the form of patches. And if I am altering things, and in color basic or extended basic, I exclusively use run vectors and dispatch tables. Okay. Like the common dispatch tables which are in run. I change some of these. I change those RVec vectors left and right for everything.
Yeah, because there's one problem, like something like JDOS did. They just did their own thing, and it breaks with a whole bunch of old software. Like the original Telewriter did not run; it would just crash because they inserted code and shrunk code and moved code. So any direct ROM calls just went off to who knows where. And they would just crash. So I like the fact you went for backwards compatibility.
I want testers. I want people with physical CoCos to get this ROM, people who preferably who are already using HDB-DOS for some hardware, CoCo SDC or drivewire or whatever. I want people to try it.
Yeah, it's easy enough to try in emulators, and I know some people do have disk controllers that support the 16K ROM. I'm trying to remember, like the Radio Shack ones, I think only supported an 8K ROM by default. You might have to do some patching hardware-wise to get a 16K ROM to work. Is that right? I'll ask Mark B and Mark O, who might actually know the answer to that question.
Seem like you're getting ready either.
No, FujiNet uses that DOS, doesn't it?
Yeah, it uses a patched HDB DOS.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you know that?
I know about the FujiNet. I
you
know
could run,
more or less.
Yeah, because it adds networking and remote drives and stuff too.
Yeah, and you can run programs using the runm command. which is pretty
If they
neat.
have, do they have the source for their changes? If so, I want to
I think they do,
invite
'cause
my.
I think it's an open source style project, so they should. Thomas
Yeah.
Cherryholmes is the guy to talk to.
Yeah.
He's
On
on
GitHub.
both CoCo Discord and on Facebook. So
Yeah, hook them up.
Right.
then you add networking to your stuff here. That would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Isn't bad.
Add some basic networking commands, because right now, I mean, it supports networking, but you have to use some ML routines to basically talk to a lot of it or go
Right,
through the
right.
drivewire
Yes,
stuff.
it has the drivewire protocol. That's as much network as it's capable of doing. The
Yeah, and
drivewire
FujiNet rides on top of that, but adds its own library that makes the calls to that. So they're doing stuff like saving high scores in games or having you play against an Apple II user on the other side of the planet or something like that through networking. So that'd be a good project to merge with, actually. You could add in all
Yeah.
your new stuff plus all the FujiNet stuff. And we're going to need a 32K ROM pretty soon.
I will most definitely talk to those guys.
Yeah, all of a sudden there's like an extra brain.
In fact, we'll be covering some FujiNet stuff updates here a little bit later in the show. So
Neat.
Well, I think that's all for today as far as,
Well, that was
as I'm
crazy.
concerned. Thank you for
Thank you.
listening.
yeah, and thanks for doing the presentation. Like I said, we've been covering some of your updates as you posted them to the list as we went, but then it's like these two new features here. A month later, here's a few more features, and now you did the whole wrap up. Like, here's everything you've been adding. You've hinted at some stuff you'll be adding more in the future. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Okay, let's move on to commercial break.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, it's your good buddy, your good pal Amigo Aaron, joined by that dastardly The Brent from ARG Presents.
You're watching CoCoNation.
I feel like that should have been longer.
The CoCoNation show would like to thank the following patrons: AC's 8-Bit Zone, Alex Gare, Alan Huffman, Barry Tompkinson, Boysen Tech, Brendan Donnie, Brian Walsh, Brian Weasler, Karen Askham, Coconut Bob, Daddy Burrito, David Ladd, Derek Smithson, Diego BF109, Don Barber, Eric Canales, Frederick Segard, Glenn Hewlett, Graham Wabke, Grant Leedy, Henry Gernhardt, Henry Strickland, Jason Warrens, Jeffrey Drywater, Jim Mullis, Justin Larson, Ken Reichard, Kevin Holloway, Mark Castellan, Michael Hill, Patrick Euland, Paul Fiscarelli, Paul Shoemaker, R. Allen Murphy, Richard Harding, Rob Inman, Rocky Hill, Steve Batson, Terry Trapp, TJB Chris, Tom C., Tom Gunderson, Tom S., William Athing. Thank you so much, patrons. If you would like to support the CoCoNation show, sign up at patreon.thecoconation.com.
Hey everyone, I'm TJB Chris, and I'm watching the CoCoNation live show, and so are you. And probably shouldn't be pointing that thing at you. Enjoy!
The CoCoNation would like to thank our Discord boosters, Boysen Tech, Frederick Micro Hobbyist Sigard, Glenside Computer Club, Paul Fiscarelli, Paul Shoemaker, and Wingnut 2626. Please consider joining Discord and visiting the welcome section to see what the community has to offer. Just go to discord.thecoconation.com.
Welcome everybody to the CoCoNation Game On Challenge of the Week results video. Over the Christmas break, we played 3 different games. We had Drop Pack, Ghostrush Winter Edition, and the Christmas edition of Timberman. In Drop Pack, we had a total of 13 players. We had Marco with 807, Jim Rye 885, Mark B 973, Mike Zweifel 975, Retro Rick 985, Tasman 990, Canadian Retro Things 1047, Shenley 1151, Coconut Bob 1210, Rich N 1366, Doug V4850, 1373. Dr. Ted, 2035. And this week's number one score on Drop Pack was Rasculus with 5,257.
Holy cow, that's a big jump.
And for Timberman, we had 3 players. We had Canadian Retro Things with 72, Shenley with 269, and the number one score for Timberman was Dr. Ted with 324. And finally, for Ghostrush, we had 4 players. We had Mike Zweifel with 360, Canadian Retro Things 430, Dr. Ted 490, and the number one score for Ghostrush was Shenley with 570.
Wow.
Thanks everybody that played all the games over Christmas, and we will see you again next week.
Oh, by the way, Ken, 60 in the chat just said, I definitely submitted a score for Drop Pack.
Okay, if I guess maybe I missed that. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, the CoCoNation salutes Rasculus, Dr. Ted, and Shenley, respectively. Salute!
Fingers cramped up from that one.
Yeah, he said he submitted a score of 1156.
Oh, I'm just looking for it.
All right, rewind.
Just redo the whole segment. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'm going to. I'm sure that I probably missed it, but sorry about that.
Well, when you have like multiple games going at once, it's really hard to keep track of. I think you found that out the last time we did a big multi-game, wasn't it? Like a Centipede Clones or something like that?
Frogger.
There we go.
Right.
Oh, I missed a lot of people.
All right,
that's why it was a little short.
We'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, I missed a couple people on Drop Pack. I missed Sloopy's score of 994 and actually, no, it looks like just the 2 people. Cairen of 1156. It's because there are people that posted scores in between the time that I ended one week and put in the games for the next week. And they posted their scores early because they're playing while we were supposed to be doing the show, so I missed their scores.
That's called multitasking. We're just used to that with OS9. So
It's a false start. There's a penalty for that.
Also because I only got like about an hour of sleep last night, so. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, did we salute the people that won?
Yep. We did.
Yeah, I've still got a cramp.
He's still sleeping.
I am completely out of it today, so I guess we are talking about Drop Pack. We talked a lot about it last week about it is not a good game. Mostly because it's unresponsive and it's so hard to line.
Is variable.
Yeah, the unresponsiveness is variable, and it's so hard to line anything up to drop the pieces that it's very hard to get any lines completed on it.
That second part, I think that's part of the challenge of Drop Pack because you have to let it go across and then drop it. You don't move it left and right.
It is. That's part of the challenge. And
the controls, though, you're right. They suck.
It's worse than that.
The unresponsive.
I don't mind that. I don't mind the idea that it moves across the top and you have to drop it at the right spot, but it's so hard to line it up to drop it at the right spot that.
Especially when you get to higher levels and it's going fast and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're on a 55-inch screen, it's kind of tough.
I think, like, if they had some sort of even just a slight grid pattern in the background that you could see where you're dropping things a bit better.
If they did that, you would probably see that it's not lined up to the grid as you think it would be when you release. You release it.
Yeah, but at least if you had a grid,
couple of more and then drops.
if you had at least like maybe even a halfway point grid that would give you at least a little bit more reference to.
I tried this again. I think the unresponsiveness is a good way to describe it. You didn't know when it was going to be late or early.
Yeah.
And
if it doesn't respond immediately to the joystick button or whatever being hit to drop the
or
thing, then
dependably
that's-
late,
because this game
something.
depends on you being able to drop it at a precise time, unlike regular
It does.
Tetris where you just adjust and move
Where
it
you
left
can
and right.
fudge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I do like the suggestion from last week of just draw lines on your screen and then.
It doesn't help.
Yeah, and
Doesn't
permanent
help
marker.
press the button,
and
it doesn't drop. Use
would
overlay
think a
like the
draw bar
Vectrex.
Mark, you were
apparently
definitely having a lot more problems with the button not working than I was. I mean, once or twice a game it would kind of really mess up for me. But
Now, were the two of you playing on real hardware, or was one of you on an emulator?
I was
Real
on
hardware.
an emulator. Mark was on
CoCo
real
3.
hardware.
CoCo 3, 6309, Gimme Z.
It
So it's
also might be
possible
one
my
that
joystick is. Yeah, just my joystick might be, oxide.
Yeah, one of my joysticks here, I was mentioning to Ricker in between shows here, was the one I broke the button out, right? But the red button, the top button there, is actually the point where I have to hit it like 3 or 4 times really hard before it actually registers, like the switch or whatever's definitely going. So.
But I think the concept of the game is good. I think the execution of it was
Yeah.
a little
Now,
rough.
60's making a comment in the chat. He says, "Did you notice you can drop the piece twice?" I'm not sure what he means.
Yes, you can. If you drop it, I had mentioned that last week. A little bit of a cheat. If you drop it immediately when it comes onto the screen, it will fall down like while you're in that kind of little tube on the left side of the screen. It'll drop to the bottom of the tube, but continue moving across. So you're about 3 lines lower than it was when you.
Cheat thing going across.
Oh, okay.
So you actually are a little bit closer to the bottom, but then when the thing is everything's getting higher, that can also work in
against
to your detriment, because then you can hit the pieces and it ends your game. But yeah, so there is a slight cheat there. It didn't help though.
So how did
Although I have
Rasculus get like a 5,000 score then?
I have no idea. I think he played on a higher level, and I think he was saying that the joystick responded better, even though it was faster. The joystick responded better on higher levels.
I think, I'm not positive, but one of the things in the Game On News here, I think, is his video of getting that score. And I think he did start in level 0. And as you progress further, you go up in level, so it speeds up as you go.
Well,
so we'll show that. I'll see if there's anything we can discern as to how he did that.
I managed, I'm very happy to say, on Thursday, to my goal for this game for the last 2 weeks, I completed 1 line. So that's all I wanted to do. Completed my line, took the picture, and I'm done with that game. So did anybody else have any?
I was going to say, I do like the fact that some CoCo people, when they're programming games that are, at first glance clones, but actually did try to do something a little bit innovative, didn't always hit the mark.
That's one of the main reasons I chose this game. Like, I knew it was kind of a really rough game to play when I tried it out, but I thought, it's interesting to see kind of the thought process of people taking, Tetris is one of the most popular games in the world. How can we change it so it's going to be slightly different? And this is not an actual Tetris clone.
There was about 100 variations of Tetris back in the day. The one I liked a lot was Columns by Sega. I don't know if anyone remembers that. The towers that fell were all vertical with three types, and you cycle between them.
You cycle through the three different or the three.
Yeah, there's a CoCo 3
colors.
version of that by John Strong called Gems, which actually looks pretty good. And now we'll be covering this in the news too, is Paul Shoemaker's doing a port of the new Quarks game, which is basically that game from the 8-bit guy, and he's working on the CoCo 3 version of it, which looks pretty good.
I want a CoCo 2 version.
This is definitely a type of Tetris I've never seen anywhere else. So this is, as far as I know, completely unique.
Yeah, drop back is, yeah, as far as I know.
So something that no other system had. So yay for us. I mean, yay for us.
And was it a tape magazine game, if I remember?
Yeah, it was the one that comes on it's the T&D. It's a T&D game,
yeah. So they're cheap.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's not a great game, but did you get your dollar's worth?
Yeah. That's what it comes down to.
And if you want to play a more modern style Tetris, because Tetris has changed over the years, Cairen, once again in the chat there, actually released one that Semi-Graphics 12 or 24 version of it that actually is closer to modern Tetris rules.
Mm-hmm. We played that one on the Game On Challenge, I believe.
Yeah.
I think. But, yeah, so the other games that we played were... Oh, and I couldn't find any kind of a review or anything for this. I didn't actually look in the T&D, because usually that's just the instructions for the game, so...
Yeah, yeah. The review-wise, you'd have to get some third party to do it, because even Rainbow or Hot Cocoa or whatever very rarely reviewed games from T&D. Or Chromoset or anything else for that matter.
And then our other games were Timberman and Ghostrush, and... they are games that we played before, but they're classics. So,
yeah, and very easy to pick up. They're very good casual games. You don't have to learn a lot of things. They're very easy to play, very hard to master.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have anything to say about those games? Other than if you've got kids, they're definitely a good thing. You can sit them down in front of your CoCo to play.
There you go. You can leave for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to get them away from the iPad, stick them in front of the CoCo. Maybe they'll gain some appreciation for a real computer.
Or one true button. We don't know.
Yeah. There were also, some of those have been featured on the Amigos, both their channel and also at Boatfest as games that people were competing with there at the show.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely fun games to play. So, the other game that we played this week was Gauntlet 2. And what's there to say about that? But it's a version of Gauntlet 2. So,
yeah. Now, if you have a bunch of siblings or kids or friends over, you can play up to 4 players at once. One of the very few CoCo games that does that.
2 joysticks, 2 keyboards. And
yeah, it's a little cramped on 2 keyboards because you also have 2 buttons you use, your regular attack and your potion attack. So,
but yeah, so it's actually a very well done game.
Yeah, even digitized sound effects from the original arcade game for a few things like going down the levels and keys to open doors and that kind of stuff.
Now I noticed I think it was Ed Rhodes was having trouble getting it going on VCC.
He did get it going eventually. He had the Drive 1 still selected, and it definitely wants to be in Drive 0.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I was going to mention that to see if anybody else had any problems, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. Tips and tricks for the game: don't die.
For Gauntlet 2?
As usual.
Yeah. Use ranged attacks as much as you can. You can weaken the power gen or the monster generators because they'll sometimes launch ones that need to get hit 3 times to kill. So if you weaken the generator, the monsters coming out get weaker. So maybe go for those first before you try to get a whole swarm of monsters at the same time.
And if there's a whole swarm of monsters on the screen, try to run off the screen, and because once there's only about 4 or 5 still on the screen following you, those are the only ones that'll come at you. All the other ones will wait for you to move back up, and so that when they reappear on the screen, they won't come from off the screen to get you.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Does it favor you if you go level by level rather than skip ahead? Because of course you can go exit to level 8 and jump way ahead.
You can. I have no idea.
Because I'm thinking if the earlier levels are easier, like the arcade version was, and I haven't played the CoCo 3 version in a while, so I can't remember. It was actually, if you were going for score, especially as a single player, where you have to really monitor your health, it actually made sense to make sure you don't skip levels, because then you can actually build your score up faster.
Also, you can build your score, and you can get a hold of many more potions and stuff to use in the upper levels. When you skip the levels like that, you end up down in the levels where you need potions and whatnot, and don't necessarily have them. So,
yeah. Also, for those of you who are technically minded or just want to screw around with it, there's a Gauntlet 2 level editor on the Color Computer Archive where you can actually view the maps for all the levels that are built in the game, and you can muck around with them and make your own if you want. But I think it's one of the best CoCo 3 titles that runs in 128K. I'd rank it pretty close up there with like Xenix and Crystal City. And
yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to spending more time with it next week.
Yeah, and if you, like I said, if you have friends and you can play like multiplayer, it's one of the few 4-player CoCo games, or up to 4 players anyway, simultaneous.
There we go. We need to get this working on like Drivewire or something so that we can play.
This would be a good FujiNet thing if somebody could like
FujiNet.
Yeah.
I'm working on an alternative.
Because I don't have actual friends other than people outside the.
If it ain't online, it ain't real, man.
Yeah.
I don't see a Sloopy here, so I guess we're covering the game on live Thursday. I think it's up to you, Ken.
Well, okay. Well, if I wanted to cover the game on live from Thursday, Mark was too hungover to hit the button to start.
Oh, there wasn't.
So we didn't actually broadcast. We just played.
Happened.
So there's no video. So poor Mark. He could barely he was so hungover he could barely talk.
Playing.
Or were you just tired?
So the dramatic reading was a mess.
I was busy driving back in a blizzard when New Year's hit, so
he was just up way too late.
Yeah, we also didn't have enough people showing up.
Yeah, we only had started with I think 3 or 4 of us there, and there was no Sloopy, so made the executive decision that we weren't going to force Mark to stay awake and broadcast.
You guys didn't stream at all, or just didn't record?
No, we didn't stream at all.
Okay,
I didn't want to have poor Mark have to stay up and stream us for like hour and a half when he definitely wanted to go to bed.
Yeah, I'd have woke up after a while and no one would have been there.
Yeah, pretty much. We would have just all quietly left, and then it would have been gently listening to Mark snore on the stream.
Wouldn't be the first time.
That's right.
So no, but we still hung out and played games.
And how do you do that, Ken, for people that are new here?
You come to the Discord, to the Game On Challenge Live Discord channel on Thursday nights at 5 o'clock on the West Coast here. And you... that's on Thursday nights and or Thursday late afternoons if you're on the West Coast. And you just join on, and you can use a real CoCo, you can use an emulator, play the game of the week, play other CoCo games, or just sit and make fun of us playing the games really poorly like we usually do. And
that's 8 p.m. Eastern time.
I don't know. Yep. I don't go in for that other time zone stuff. So I don't believe in other time zones.
Other time zone stuff?
They don't exist.
They really don't, do they?
Nope.
No, they don't.
I don't believe in other time zones.
No, it's 6 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock right now. 4:05.
No, it isn't. It's 13:05.
That's debatable.
13:05. I agree with Ken.
There you go.
3:05.
Yeah, 3:05. I'm agreeing with Mark B.
If we stay here an hour and a half more, I will point the laptop at the night sky. See you refute that.
That'd be close to
was
Newfoundland time, I
fate.
think.
Well, there really is no time zones if you use universal coordinated time.
There's no time zones in space. There we go.
Can't argue with that.
You know,
So,
there was a
Okay,
question that
but
got
what is it in
posed.
metric time?
What is what?
What time is it in metric time?
Oh, metric time.
Oh, I told you it's 1306.
Yeah,
That's not
24 hours.
metric time.
That went away with Napoleon.
We'll have to get Juan to do it with his timer L function. We'll figure it out.
60 says it's gone 9 p.m., you crazy fools. You should know. He
Anyway.
lives on universal coordinated time.
So, if you want to join us Thursday nights at 5 or 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Western time, then you can do that by coming into the Discord channel and joining us on the Game On Challenge live channel, or you can join us on the YouTube channel or the Twitch channel, and you can just be in the audience and make fun of us through the comment section. So,
yeah.
Heckling's allowed.
Yeah, heckling's encouraged.
Yes, even encouraged.
Because we don't want us getting to thinking that we're actually like good at these games.
Good or anything, huh?
I think that's what Nick usually does. He comes in and heckles the people playing, or maybe it's just me when I'm there. I'm not sure which.
You see, you don't. It's too much of a letdown if you start thinking on Thursday night you're good at the game, and then you see what your score is compared to Dr. Ted on Saturday. It's like, such a letdown.
So what games are you shutting down this week? You said it's 3 they're shutting down?
Yeah, the Drop Down, Timberman, and Ghost
Rush. Christmas.
Ghost Rush.
Are all done. Okay. So Gauntlet 2 for next week still, and
Gauntlet
you've got a
2.
new one to announce.
Oh yeah, I guess I should do that. Let's see if anybody knows this one. So this one was suggested to me. I have absolutely no idea how to play it. I tried to play it and had absolutely zero clue what I was doing. So,
Oh, that was like the one from the other week.
Oh, this is from Spectral Associates, written by Dale Lear.
Yep.
Wow. It's a matching game?
No.
No,
it's not.
That's what I thought it was at first, but it's not.
Okay, if you want good instructions on this, we actually covered this when we interviewed Dale, and we kind of went through how the game works. But basically, it's a reaction game, because basically you have to react by clicking on a tile within a certain amount of time, and each tile means something else. Some will give you extra life, or some will take some of your life away. There's some ones that are just little bonuses. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there, so I would go check out.
There's a good write-up on some guy, L. Curtis Boyle's website. He's got
it might have been based on that interview, actually.
He's got all the stuff with the tiles, different tiles mean and stuff. So,
but Dale kind of went through it because this is one he was disappointed it didn't sell that well because Spectral never really advertised it that much. They accepted it and then they basically did nothing with it, putting it in ads and Rainbow or anything else.
Anyways, the game is called Pickwitch.
It's an original game. I've never seen another game like this.
You need a joystick?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to move your cursor as to which tile you're selecting on the screen. And as you get further and further in the game, the faster and faster you have to react.
Which also means that it works okay if you use the, kind of okay if you use the mouse on an emulator. That's what I was trying to do. Maybe I wasn't doing it very well. I don't know if I was playing it well or playing it not well, but...
It gives you a score at least?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, find the Dale Lear interview on the original CoCo Talk show, and he goes through
pulling
it
the link
there,
up
we go
now.
through it. Yeah.
Or another thing you can do is look on Curtis's website. Actually, I'll try and bring that up right now.
Did I give enough directions there, though? Because it sounds like you didn't quite understand them. So.
Because I didn't read your website before I tried to play it.
Oh, okay.
I just tried to play it off of the person suggesting it, and going in without any instructions whatsoever is...
Yeah, you wouldn't get this game. It took me a while to figure out when I first got it. So.
Okay, where the heck is it? There we go. So here we go. So this is, you can see the different special tiles. Tells you what each one will do. So the point of the game is that you have a limited amount of time and you have to move over one of the tiles, and then whatever tile you're over top of when the timer runs out, that's the one that becomes what you get points for or whatever.
Yeah, it does a pretty cool zooming effect, if I remember, doesn't it?
And it keeps going until you accidentally stop over top of a stop sign.
So
And then
the
you've got,
idea is, am I here?
Yep.
Okay, so the idea is, do I stay here or do I try for a better tile?
Well, the idea is, I think when it first comes up, you get a flash of what the screen looks like. And then, so you try to move over to where the highest point tiles are, or whatever ones you're looking for.
And if you're trying desperately to find a better one and the timer goes out, then
whatever one you're over, that's the one you get.
Yeah.
And if it happens
And some
to
of
be
them,
a
like you
stop
see
sign,
there, the special tiles, you see some actually dock your score, cut your score in half, lose 10, and then you got your regular scoring.
picks a
tiles
random
arranged.
tile. Yeah, there's a question mark that picks a random tile, which means it could pick a stop sign for you, which will end your game.
on your
The map one's a cool one because once you get that one, at least you can see where all the other tiles are and get some time to react.
Anyways, I think once I kind of more figure the game out, it will be a fun game.
Yeah, it is actually. Like I know Stevie really liked it, and I really liked it when we played it with when Dale came on. And there's little musical bits of interludes and stuff too, depending on the tile. Like I think the rainbow one gives you a nice little tune or something when you play it, which gives you a little bit of time to think too. So it's a fun game. If I remember correctly, Dale actually kind of designed it to be played by younger kids. Like it was meant more as a kids game, but it's honestly it's probably a little bit too hard for a lot of younger kids. It takes pretty quick reaction time. So for us old parts, it's gonna be impossible. And I see Mark Overalls are posted the Dale Lear interview link into the
I
chat.
did.
So.
Well, that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Second, I'm going to post... Where's my Twitch chat? I'm going to post the link to Curtis's website for it, too.
Yeah, it definitely
Good
gives you the
idea.
points on the tiles and stuff and what each tile does. So. Then after that, I think we'll go on to the game on news, and then maybe another break before we hit the main news. I think that's okay with Mark.
That's good.
B.
Yep. So, which intro should we run?
Oh, you
Do we
don't
have
have to
one
on this
for-
one. You can just wait until the news if you want.
Do we have one for Curtis? I can't remember. Is there an actual Curtis
right?
intro?
Still kind of sting for him.
Nah,
Yeah, I think Rick, what did you title last episode? It was kind of a dig at me, wasn't it?
I don't remember anymore.
Something about who is L. Curtis Boyle or something like that. Like,
Yeah, well.
Yeah, something like that.
Where in the world is L. Curtis Boyle?
yeah,
It's our
like
new
playing Waldo.
Carmen San Diego
In
game.
the world is L. Curtis Boyle.
The new Carmen San Diego game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. News intro.
When you want the latest in TRS-80, Tandy, Dragon, MC10, and all of their hardware cousins. No matter what it takes, or where news breaks, from around the world to your nation. The CoCoNation News with L. Curtis Boyle.
Okay, so you guys should be seeing the Amigos Retro Gaming YouTube channel if I pick the right window.
We do.
Cool. Okay, so Aaron has announced that the next CoCo show recording by them will be January the 25th, which is actually the same weekend as Mark's, which we'll be covering a little bit later as well. Mark O's. What are you calling it? The
Tandy Retro Show. Tandy Retro Show. Yeah.
And they'll be playing pinball by a certain Nick Marentes. So I wanted to ask Nick, since he's actually joined us. Hopefully he's awake again. Are you going to be on that show in the chat or anything, or on the show live to help talk about the game?
We just need to tell the Amigos they need to move their show.
Are you there, Nick? It says you're not muted, so I'm assuming you're awake.
He's not snoring.
He's probably ran out to go grab a jar of Vegemite.
Anyway, if he comes back, he can comment on that. He might be away from his computer at the moment. So that's the link, and of course, all the notes for all of the news, including the Game On news, is up on the Discord. It's up already for this episode. If you go to the CoCoNation section, there's one for the news summaries, and you'll get the links for every story we cover on the show, as we do every week. Sorry, yeah, the 25th of January, if you want to watch a review of Pinball. And then they also did another one, which is kind of the wrap up of this year, which is basically the 2025 awards for the best and worst game on each of their shows. So the CoCo show, the Amiga show, the Spectrum show, the Atari show, ARG Presents, which is basically a potpourri of a bunch of random stuff from random systems. And I think they had 6 episodes of CoCo show, so there was a list of the games that they played and which ones they thought were the best, which ones they thought were the worst, and also which ones got the most views. Ironically enough, the games that are actually the worst are usually the ones that get the most views, because people like to watch them and bash them and comment. And one of Nick's games was actually in the running for that. And then there were some other new games that got released this year that were in the running as well as some older ones. I'm not going to spoil it, tell you what the ones were. But one thing I will mention is that this episode, which covers all the shows, is like 3/4 of an hour long. The CoCo show results are actually the first one. So after they do their intro banter, you'll be right into the CoCo show results. And we'll also have to see what the ones are for next year. But we can comment on those next week after you guys have had a chance to watch the awards and see what you guys think about their picks and the audience picks. These were voted on, plus their own personal picks on their Discord. But I would be interested to see what the CoCo community here thinks about the picks, that if they would choose differently than the general public on the Amigos Discord, or Brent, Aaron, and Boat would be doing on their own. Next up, we have Attempts, a gaming channel by LRU. And he does these periodically where he goes and plays a game and tries to submit a high score to some of the high score websites here that do cover CoCo games, and there's several of them now. And in this case, he was playing Slay I never have figured out how to pronounce this. Nereus? How do you guys pronounce it? It's kind of like the Centipede clone that was sold by Tandy, written by Spectral Associates.
That's right. He told us how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Yeah, Mark did, or Mark Siegel?
Yeah, I believe so. Somebody told us how it's supposed to be
Yeah, we'll have
pronounced.
to go back and look at that episode.
Make a sound clip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Nereus or Nereus, or I can't remember.
Nereus, or yeah, who knows?
It's not a bad Centipede clone. It takes kind of place underwater, and you've actually got a rippling wave that goes across here too. But you've got basically the equivalents of the spiders and the scorpions, and as you can see, some poison mushrooms here. The fleas come down and drop more. Well, they're not mushrooms. I can't remember. They're bubbles or something. But it's actually not a bad version play-wise, with all the various monster stuff too. The only thing I would say is that it's got that standard Spectral Associates sound routines, which do get a bit grating after a while because they shared it between a lot of the games. So it sounds the same as a lot of the other ones. Not all of them are like that, but a fair number use that same sound engine. And Brian Blake says he always pronounced it Slay the Nereus. That could be right too. I have no idea.
Right.
And here's the one. Rasculus actually recorded his record-breaking game where he absolutely slaughtered everybody else on Drop Pack. So I thought I'd play little bits of this here. I'll play a little bit at the beginning as he gets started, then we'll jump ahead. The level does go up as he goes. He even manages to kill 2 lines at once at one point. I should have recorded where that was, but
nice.
But he seems to be pretty good at doing the lineup and dropping it pretty well exactly where he wants it to go. And I think that was the hardest part of this game, correct, Ken?
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have a grid. I guess you could memorize where the numbers for the level numbers at the top and kind of gauge. Once you play it enough, you'd kind of know where it's going to fall when you're partly under the 5 or something.
Apparently, the real cheat is to have RF with jail bars.
Oh yeah, you get the jail bars. That'll help. But it doesn't quite drop when you ask it to. I'm confused by that.
But he does complete multiple lines at the same time and quite a few times as the single ones. You know, so you're still at level 0. He's already got a score of 1,000.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I see that. You could complete.
But as you progress, you see it speeding up, and now it's bumped up to level 1. So it automatically increments the level as you're playing as you get further and further. Don't remember if I can find where he does a double line.
See how that could happen? I can't see me doing it because it falls straight down. So you aren't going to slide over and stop yourself.
Yeah. He's getting a lot more responsiveness than I think we were.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. 3 in a row. And I think you still only get 120 points. Let's rewind that.
And that's still only 120, boys and girls. Give up all hope.
Yeah, I don't think you get much bonus points for doing a bunch of lines at once, unlike real Tetris, where it's definitely a bonus. But if you want to see what it's like playing, I think it was on level 5 by the time he was getting near the end here. Like, it's going pretty quick.
Oh, and yeah, pretty full.
He's already got over 5,000 points at this point. But yeah, definitely the fact that it just scrolls across and you can't move it back left makes the gameplay way more challenging than regular Tetris. Very, very impressive score, I must say. Next up, we have the Olympus YouTube channel, and they did a speedrun of a text adventure game called 4 Mile Island. And this is a real speedrun. He got the entire text adventure done in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Now this is a game he didn't mention where he found it, and I'm trying to dig my brain here to see if I've ever seen it before. I don't recall it, so I don't know if this was a type in or maybe a freeware upload somebody did, or maybe it was on one of the tape magazines, or I have no idea where this thing came from. I'm pretty sure it's not commercial.
Island alternative death. Some of them have solutions. Sometimes we have to figure out eyes on it, of course. You know.
But it's just a standard, text adventure game, and it's a fairly easy one. I could think once you get through it, like you can definitely do it fairly quick. But I never thought speed running adventure games would be a thing. But he's one of the many people I've seen that have now been doing this. So, and I'm not going to play the whole thing because that'll spoil the ending for you guys.
We never find out whether it melts down or not.
Nope. Okay, next up, Jim Gary did a couple this past week. So the first one here is called Subterranean Plumber's Blues, which sounds like a Bob Dylan song. Originally written by Stephen C.M. Chen in 1986, as you can see in the bottom. This was originally published in the April 1986 issue of Family Computing Magazine, which is a UK-based magazine. And the original issue had this game for the CoCo and the IBM PC, and he's ported it to MC10, and he added some instructions to it and some visual tweaks. It's a puzzle-style game, originally written by Sarah Cortum and Pete Favreau. And it's got some instructions built, like I said, that definitely will help you because the different symbols mean different things. And play a little bit of the thing here. I haven't actually tried playing this one, so I'm not quite sure how everything specifically works. But it sounds like it's a pretty challenging puzzle game. That's for the actual gameplay. And he's using the red character set for the 32-column screen, as was demonstrated by Juan earlier. That's now controllable in BASIC, nice and easy, including inverse video. The next one he did after that is called Bandit, and this is, of course, a slot machine style game done in low-res graphics. Yeah, this is originally by Steve Rimmer from the June 1984 issue of Computing Now magazine, originally for the IBM PC, now ported to the MC10 using SG4. And this is pretty well, standard thing. It doesn't do the movement quite as good as some other low-res I've seen, where you actually see it rotate. It kind of just blinks the ones here as it goes through and then just kind of shuts them off as they get selected. And speeds up as it goes. But it doesn't really give that rotating effect that some of the other games did. The next out, he did a port of a game called Meteorite, which is really from the Japanese machine called the NEC PC 6001. The original version actually had some machine language subroutines to move the meteors on the screen, but he managed to get pretty good performance out of it using a large string and mid string to do the positioning of stuff, and then poke with the variable pointer command var PTR to wipe out the meteors as they were hit. So the basic premise here is, and I'll just fast forward a little bit in the game here.
Otherwise, it's random.
And this is actually, I must mention this. Jim Gary actually does live commenting on this game as he's playing it, explaining what's happening. And he's very rarely, if ever, done that before. So if you want to hear Jim Gary's dulcet tones while he's playing a game that he's ported over, this is your chance. So basically what it is here is that you've got these little things you're trying to protect, the O's down here. And this is underground. So you got all the ground getting chipped away by meteors. And I probably should put fast backwards here a bit. So these are the meteors here. They're coming, scrolling down. And once they hit the ground, they will take a chunk of the ground out and eventually they'll take out the stuff you're trying to protect. And basically you have like half the keyboard in the MC10 is reserved for where you're going to fire something. And all these little parentheses is basically the explosion area that it's hitting. So you try to take out as many meteors as you can before they hit the ground. And rather than trying to like move left, move right, move up, move down, which would be pretty unfair on a higher level, this way you actually kind of have a grid. It's kind of like using an electronic book, honestly. There's a good game port for you, Ken. But basically you just tap the keys that are appropriate just to the upper left of the screen, the upper center of the screen, etc.
That's missile command.
Keys on the left-hand side of the keyboard to place your
Yeah, you're right. Like missile command.
Yeah, kind of.
Incoming meteorites.
But you can instantly move your cursor, quote unquote, of where you're showing the explosion up here just by tapping the key, which is perfect for electronic book if it's a 4x4 style.
Every 3 rounds,
or is it 4x3? What is the electronic book's resolution?
The
on a sheet?
3x4 is the layout.
Okay.
3 across, 4 up.
So if you did like a 3, and a 3 here, so divide in thirds and divide by 4, you could kind of duplicate this with the electronic book. Might be a fun project to try. And you have source code already there, so you could just grab it. And
right, because you could just randomly smash at things and do an area or something. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, a very interesting one to try. Ken, are you planning on doing any other games besides the one you're working on right now for the electronic book? Would you be interested in doing a port of something like this?
That depends if I ever get the game I'm working on done.
There's that, and yeah, I'm trying to get I will get back to my electronic book thing and polish it up. I have a prototype that works. Just have to get the.
Yeah, you had to tweak like the coordinates and stuff, right? You had to do some capacitors, something to get the right.
I had to do a couple of changes. Now I want to make it into something that you can just order from PCBWare or whoever, and make one without spending much money at it. So.
Okay. The last one in the game on news that we were mentioning this earlier, FujiNet. So this is using HTTP DOS with FujiNet extensions. But basically, this is a video that was put up by Tshak909, who's put up quite a few of the videos for them. And this is basically showing
Thomas Cherryhomes.
That's Thomas's own? Okay.
Yeah, that's Thomas's handle. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, it's showing 4 different platforms here because BattleShip's the latest game that's multi-platform on FujiNet. They've got a few others we've seen before, like Yahtzee, etc. And you'll see the Atari 8-bit one in the upper left corner, and then below that is the IBM PC, and then the CoCo 1 and 2 version. I don't think that's the CoCo 3 version, but it might be. I know they have some special. Oh, it is CoCo 3 with special colors. Welcome, Nick. And then the Apple IIs. So he's actually playing these all simultaneously. He's done a screen capture right beside the machine that it's doing. And I don't know if I really need the music on here. But, I'll just take it out a little bit.
Man.
Hopefully it's not copyrighted. But you can see that like he's selecting, and you're actually seeing the updates on the other computers live, like when people take their shots and stuff. So this is an interactive multiplayer game played on multiple machines, which could be all over the world, just running through FujiNet. And you can see like here the CoCo's deciding where to go, and you can see people selecting and where the sites are going as to where they're going to bomb. So this is that kind of stuff that I think that it's really designed for. I don't know if anybody's tried programming for the FujiNet protocol, which actually does use drivewire underneath from HAB-DOS. I don't know if it's fast enough or reactionary enough to do like a real-time arcade game, like a Gauntlet or something like that. I'm hoping it is at some point, especially once the cartridge version comes out, where you don't have to use the bitbanger, which will leave you a lot more free time for updating your graphics and sound on the CoCo itself, rather than trying to monitor the bitbanger and build bytes out of it. But this type of thing here, which is like real time, but it's not hyper fast real time. I think it's a perfect thing for the FujiNet. Not quite turn based, but like some of the modern games you can play that are kind of like artillery games for multiplayers on the network, where you fire off a whole bunch of bombs and stuff off at once whenever he locks and loads their moves. I think this would be kind of fun. And graphically, this one actually looks pretty good on the CoCo, I think. So that's it for the Game On news this week. Of actual, game playing. There's some game development news that we'll be covering here in a short bit of time. So I will switch to that right now. Okay, so first up, Dragon news. John Whitworth uploaded and updated the PDF of the Eurohard, which is a Spanish version of the Dragon Technical Service Manual to the Dragon Facebook group. So you can actually download that and take a look at it. He was actually mentioning he's done some corrections and changes to it from a previous version that he's uploaded. I don't think there's too many specs there that are different than a regular Dragon from the UK. Obviously, they'd be a bit different from the ones that were sold here in the States and Canada. Mainly because of the PAL versus NTSC thing. Then Julian Brown did a couple of updates as well. The first one here is a quick prototype render for the combined PAL and NTSC boards for the ATX rig. This is the one where he's going to have a back plane where you insert like a graphics card and a CPU card and a memory card and whatever other cards you want. Kind of more like that Apple II style thing, or having a CoCo with a built-in multi-pack. So that's kind of his rendering here of the one board that should be able to handle both PAL and NTSC. And then further along his video stuff here, he said, finally, something is working as intended. He's had some issues here recently, which has kind of been, well, fun to watch, I guess, as he's been trying to figure it out. But this is basically showing his PAL+NTSC working from one part, showing the scope settings. And he's got a bit of a more technical explanation. I don't know how well it'll show up here. You can even switch between PAL and NTSC formats on the fly, though it isn't recommended. Maybe if you have a multi-sync monitor, a proper one, you might be able to, not damage something. But if you start driving stuff at the wrong frequency, for some of the monitors that are on more fixed frequency type stuff, you can actually blow up your monitors doing that. I know that from overclocking my CoCo, hooking it out to my Magnavox, and I blew something up in that when I tried to drive it too high with an overclock. But it's showing pretty solid stability here and stuff. So good to hear that that's actually working pretty well. Next up that, we are into the general CoCo news, which is TRS-80 Retro Programming is posting an updated video of his Ulysses of Ithaca. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Might be Ithaca. Character adding in bow training, as he calls it, was basically shooting arrows at a target and explaining how he gets everything working here. Apparently, he's still waiting for a grid paper, because he's actually been fiddling with the CoCo 3 emulator and learning some of the CoCo 3 stuff, but he wanted to get the 320 by 192 graph paper so he can design his graphics, because that's how he does his stuff on his CoCo 1 and 2 graphics. And the one on the archive apparently is like one of those, JPEGs rendered pretty crappily, so it's kind of a fuzzy mess. And I think the guy that runs the archive was going to try to actually scan in a high quality one that he could use, but it hasn't happened yet. So once he gets that, he's going to go back to some CoCo 3 projects. But for now, he's going to go back. He's working on this one. He's going to try to clean up and finish the last couple of other ones that he's already got started that we've covered on the show before. I know he wants me to test one of them, but I just haven't had time. I'm hoping next week I might actually have some time to do so. But I'll just see if I can get fast forward here. You can actually see the little bow sequence.
Action game. as well.
Yeah, you can jump and shoot.
So
or
last
shoot
time
level.
I didn't have the arrow programmed in, but it's in there now. And what this is target practice. So I'm going to shoot that target there. And
I mean, he's using P mode 1 here, which is pretty low res, 128 by 96, I believe, 4-color. And he's got some pretty good, animations, and he's got some pretty well-drawn characters and stuff here. I think he'll have to increase the speed of the arrows, etc. Probably just, increase how many pixels across it goes. I've been trying to teach him how to use the even byte get put, which is made a little bit messy because of the scaling that Microsoft Basic, Extended Basic does by default. Because basically you have to do it on a byte boundary to get it to run the faster version, and your shapes have to be horizontally on even bytes. Vertically doesn't matter where you put it, but because it scales everything, you have to kind of do some pre-calculations depending what mode you're in. It's a bit more complicated than it should be. But we've shown some of the results of that. It's also the trick that Nick and I used for doing the semi-graphics with get put buffers, including his what was the game you did with the basic one? The Atari one, Nick?
Yeah, it's from the Atari
your little helicopter guy, you're going rescuing
Hero,
yeah. Type thing. So there's some pretty cool stuff you can do with even byte boundary get put buffers.
So to make this work, you can have multiple glyphs where you have a full step and a half step drawing. So you appear to have twice the resolution that you've got. As far as
yeah, like I said, if you do even byte boundary, which in the 4-color mode would be every 4 pixels, and you make sure that the shape horizontally lines up on those, you can use the put without PSET and the get without the comma G,
so
and
you
then
can
it runs
have
faster.
two pictures, one that starts at the left and one that starts 2 bytes in, and now you've got 2 bytes of resolution, even though you're stepping on. Okay, nice.
Yeah, I think on one of the tech shows we did, I demonstrated like a ninja game I was starting to use in 1986 that I used even byte boundaries, and it almost looks like machine language speed. The bigger the shape is, actually, ironically, the faster proportionally it gets. I know Rainbow did a little demo where they had a little flying saucer, and it's like 3.5, 4 times faster doing it with the even byte ones versus the regular get puts that the manual tells you about. The ninja game, I was doing like the characters probably about 1/6 of the entire screen or 1/8 of the entire screen, and it's fast. So if anybody wants to finish that game for me, because it was bad timing. It was 1986. I started working this. The CoCo 3 came out. Never looked at it again.
Right.
And then OSN level 2, and then I never looked at basic again. So
and and the life ran out on me, and here we are.
Now, speaking of FujiNet HEB DOS, so if Juan's still on, he might actually see this here. HEB DOS 1.4 Becker CoCo 3.
Oh, hello. I need to leave in 7 minutes. I have a dinner I have to go to. It's almost,
we'll hit this right away so you can see a little bit of FujiNet in action, not playing games, but actually doing some useful stuff. So this is posted by Rich Stevens, who's been doing some work for FujiNet on the CoCo type stuff. And this is the new newsreader app for reading news. So the original version just supported 32 by 16 hardware text. I think they did have a patch for the T1 to do true lowercase. So like Juan did, they've added some graphical support, and they're actually using P mode 4 here to do a 42 column by 24. And they claimed it to be 41 here. I think he miscalculated. I actually counted the characters across 42, just like everybody else did back in the day. But it'll show you, and you can actually hot switch it between them, just like you were doing on. But this is a dedicated app for reading news off the net.
Looks pretty.
Right. Cinders.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the story for Supercolor Writer. They're using it for a dedicated program, not a general purpose library. Oh.
Wow.
You can switch between the 2 different color modes. Here's your actual news stories coming down, which you can go through and select if you want to read
that's so much better than the way I was using it before.
Yeah, you can fit a lot more text screen. You got true lowercase, like it's just better. I do know they have a CoCo 3 version that does the hardware text column, or 40 column and 80 columns as well. But for CoCo 1 and 2 users, this is a huge improvement.
Man, that's awesome. I definitely use that news app a lot. That's how I get most of my news.
So, yeah, Juan, I just wanted to point that out to you because they've been kind of going and doing some of the same stuff you're working on. So if you made a ROM that has these 42 and 51 column fonts built in here, combined with what they've been doing to add in the FujiNet support here, I think the two of you working together could make some incredible
It looks like the font is within the news program, the external binary on disk or whatever, not in the ROM.
Yeah, but if they had the access, like if they had your ROM in there, they could actually just borrow that instead of making the program bigger.
Yes.
They'll have their own font, just use yours, and
Yes.
you'd have the 51 and 42. They only have 42 right now.
I so need to talk with these people.
Yeah, because it looks like you guys are duplicating a lot of the same stuff under the hood here. It would be nice to make it standardized and everybody share everybody else's stuff.
Yeah, his version of HDB-DOS is a bit older than the one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm using the head of the repository. I'm using the bleeding edge.
Yeah, they're using kind of the beta version, the current one in testing type thing, work in progress. Next up, speaking of GUIs here, this is from Brett Gordon, and he's actually making a full GUI. We kind of covered this last week. I think you guys covered his brief little video, but he's added some features to this new one, including pop-up windows and stuff. So I'll play a little. Oh, actually, I'll play pretty well most of it. I'll probably cut a little short jump between here, but it kind of shows you some of the stuff he's been adding here for menu handling, etc., and also switching between screens of files.
In HDB-DOS, there's a run M. You don't have to load M something.
And then exec,
command.
yeah. And it shuts the drive motor off too, which is good. You have a real one. But you can see he's got some menu selection stuff here.
Looks like a graphics mode sidekick.
Yep.
Cool, looks nice. I like it.
I mean, he's moving pretty quickly.
Yep. And you can go between the screens of stuff there.
These characters, they're my characters.
They could
Well,
be.
not mine. It's Super Color Writers.
And there it was, and you can load in program here.
Do they have an icon maker for that?
I don't think Brett's. I think he's done them manually so far at this point. We'll have to get Brett on the show here once he gets a bit further on. He's been posting updates on the Discord here probably a couple times a week at this point.
That'd be good.
And like I said, we're going to have Logan Ward on fairly soon too, once we work out the details too. So it's going to be some guests coming on.
Now it's starting to get familiar.
Yeah. He also hijacked the DOS command here to kind of just relaunch the GUI.
Okay, so
I wonder how he did that.
Nice.
And there's the basic program he just made.
And it's already got a
And you
link.
can load it. And there it is.
Run it.
Wow.
The DOS.
Oh, I thought he was going to output in the graphic screen. Oh.
Well, I think it depends. 'Cause I'm assuming there'll be some apps that are written specifically to run under the GUI, and then you'll have your standard, basic programs that have no idea GUI exists and don't know what to do with it. So
Kind of
that's
like
my
the
guess. I
Windows-
haven't talked to Brett.
The Windows API.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's
Folks,
his project since last week.
split.
Yeah. Thanks for
Now
coming
I gotta
on, Juan,
split
and thanks for the
today.
demo.
I'll catch up with the other things
Sure.
later. See ya.
Yeah,
Yes,
see ya.
Hi, one.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Yeah, I got used to saying that, except that gracias, I think, is more Spanish, isn't it? I don't know what it is in Portuguese.
I wouldn't have a clue.
We all know
pretty
it's,
much,
it's
yeah.
grassy ass.
No, it's not language.
Next up with that, UG Basic, Microgames Basic, had some multiple updates over the last week here, both on the beta and the main branches, and there was some 609, 609 updates being done. So the beta one, which is, of course, the bleeding edge one, which is you might have a few more bugs here. The update that they did back on New Year's Eve here, optimized care for accumulator for the 689, 609, fixed some fill routines, optimized code generation, optimized code generation on direct assignments. I think that means direct page. I'm not sure. Then there's another update the following day here, which also did optimize unused variables at each peephole round in the 689, 609, and some general stuff that optimized for all platforms, because this is a multi-platform compiler. And there's also some, optimizations and fixes for specific platforms. specific CPUs or specific different 8-bit computers back in the day. And then their main branch, which is kind of the quote-unquote safe one, also had some fixes too. So optimized code generation, 6 direct assignments, kind of fed off of the beta version there that we just looked at. Fixed hex buffer definition code, put image under the Atari, and fixed console initialization if nothing has changed, etc. So as usual, he's constantly, it's Marco Spedaletti, I think is the guy doing it. He's constantly doing updates to this. And for all platforms, he's been very good at reacting if people found bugs. Erico Montero, I know, has been working with him quite a bit and uses UG Basic quite a bit for his stuff. And the other big competitor to that would be Glenn Hewlett's Basic, which is specifically for the CoCo. And I did see, I didn't put in the news here, but I did see a mention here. Some people were asking, since he supports semi-graphics, higher semi-graphics modes, is he going to add some stuff for using sprites? You have Glenn Hewlett's caliber writing it. Of course, he did the transcodes for stuff like Joust and Robotron for the CoCo 3. I'm really curious what he could do with sprites on the semi-graphics 12 and 24 modes, for example. And you could write it on a modern BASIC and then cross-compile it down, or not cross, but compile it down to the CoCo and try running it from there. I'm really curious to see what that'll look like.
Although it looks like he forgot to update his year on the revision stamp.
Oh, this one here, yeah, this is 2025. Oh.
Meanwhile, open
What
office
was that,
has
I
decided.
wonder?
We'll never know.
Did he pull both of them?
Paul Shoemaker?
Yeah, this is the original video. Like, he put up a 1-minute video just kind of showing his first port of Quarks from the 8-bit guy, originally written for the VIC-20, ported to the C64 and a few others. And Paul's officially now working with the 8-bit guy on this. And actually,
Or he thought he was.
I wonder if he got asked to pull it down.
I don't know.
Right?
EJ and I should actually get back and finish off Petsky Robots at some point too. Just it requires a bit of a complete redo of where everything is in memory for to work properly. And this, I think we both just thought that's too much work. Translation, we're lazy. Okay, here, so he's got the second one. So the first one is kind of a preview. So this is the actual one that he's added in the gameplay. The original video that disappeared was basically showing like menu selection, the background shapes and stuff, but no real gameplay. This actually has the one. This is Gems, actually, what we were talking about earlier. This is the CoCo 3 version here specifically. And this is work in progress update number 1. There's no sound yet, though Simon Jonasson is helping with sound routines to play it in the background without taking too much CPU time. And this is a little trick here. You can tell by the default palettes when you turn it on, if it's green or if it's orange, that'll tell the program whether or not you're in composite or RGB mode without having to actually ask for that, because a lot of people, especially new to the CoCo, have no idea what that means. And they make videos with all the colors completely wrong. And I know Nick had done this little trick here too, I think, in his pinball game to do something similar just by using the default palettes. And this is basically based on the C64 version, not the original VIC-20 version with 16 colors. And you have different block sets you can see on the bottom there. You can switch between them. And like I said, there's versions called Gems here by John Strong, commercially available for the CoCo 3, and have been out since the early 90s. But it's basically this exact same gameplay. I like the little animated background there behind it, which I think was Petsky's stuff in the original. Basically, you're trying to match up to 3 or more of the same shape, and they can be diagonal, they can be horizontal, they can be vertical. But the cool thing about it is you can actually rotate through the shapes here, like whatever 3 fall, you can rotate them through so that you can change, like, so that the green is on the bottom, like the pair in this case. And that's part of the strategy. And of course, faster as you go and levels up as you progress. And I'll just kick it up ahead here so he's on a later level so you can kind of see how fast it gets going. But it's playing pretty smooth. I don't know if he actually has an IRQ routine enabled for doing the sound in the background that he just doesn't have any sound in it yet, or if it's going to slow down a little bit. But it looks like a really nice port. I mean, visually, I think it looks more impressive than John's original 1991 efforts. But basically, the gameplay is the same, so you couldn't go wrong with either one. I don't know if he's planning on doing a CoCo 1-2 port of this, or if he's just going to stick with the CoCo 3. We'll have to have Paul on sometime in the near future to kind of go over what he's doing. Next about that, 8-Bit Basic channel on YouTube released a video showing various 8-bit computer versions of a New Year's program in 1985 written in the native basic dialects of a variety of 8-bit machines, including the CoCo. And this is from Volume 2, Number 12, which is a December 1984 issue of Family Computing magazine, and it was originally written by Joey Latimer. And I can't remember if the CoCo's late. So this is kind of showing a little bit of
going to run on the Atom, the Apple, the Atari.
Blurry, so let's go change that.
It's not
He
here.
might have blurred on purpose. So he's putting
Commodore 64, IBM PC, the TI-99.
So there's basically the way they worked when they did their stuff was would do alternate program listings for each of the 8-bit machines. You type in the one appropriate for machine. Now, Family Computing and Compute and a few others there that did do this. The one thing I always disliked about it was that on the CoCo, they always went for least common denominator. So it was like color basic, no extended basic. So they never did high-res graphics. It was all like set, reset, and quite low res, and they're comparing it with like a C64 or PC running. Yeah, that was always disappointing. I'm hoping that the new rebooted Compute Gazette, which is for multiple platforms, will at least be smart to say extended basic. I mean, it was pretty well standard on the later CoCo 2s, and it was standard on CoCo 3s. So you definitely could write stuff a bit more competitively with the 8-bit Commodore 64, the Atari 400, 800, etc. But basically, this one is kind of low res on all the platforms for the most part. And they just go through and show you what each looks like. It just animates or draws the year of the new year. There's a little timer you can set up at the beginning. It's the one it kicks off. And the CoCo version is a little bit later. Is that this one, I think? No, it's the Atom. BBC color.
The TRS-80 color computer.
And the sound routines and stuff are pretty standard between them. The only thing is there's this part here has explosion songs and those guys who have sound chips. But basically it just draws the name of the year after the timer finishes and then plays a little bit of, sound beeps. A bit of Auld Lang Syne. And it's kind of cute, hearing the different 8-bit machines, because some of them had 1-bit speakers, some of them had full-blown sound chips, and how much different that sounds. But basically, the animation's pretty well the same. They did another one here, too, the same guy, and this is a same magazine and author, but from Volume 2, Number 3, so the March 1984 issue of Family Computing, and written by the same Joey Latimer. And this is actually a bit of a game of musical chairs, which also included the CoCo version here too. So the CoCo version actually came out to be first.
So 204 is the note frequency and 6 is the duration.
Explains a little bit how the sound
musical
routine
chairs
works.
is going to play a song. Now I just need to warn everybody there is going to be flashing screens and flashing colors. So if you're sensitive to that, please be mindful. So here we go with our first version of musical chairs. Musical chairs program. Pressing enter starts the music. The music may stop at any time. Ready? Press enter. Ah, now what a banger. It's time to take away a chair. So that's how it runs on this lovely TRS-80 computer.
So once
sure
again,
the
it's fun seeing the different... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm not sure the flashing lights were the problem there. The flashing
degrading
notes
tones of
might
the play command or sound command, maybe. That's one place the deluxe CoCo was much better at. Next up, I just threw this in here. It's just a quick little video by a YouTube channel called Jaggy's Gym, showing booting OSINE Level 1 version 2, which is the later version that actually is CoCo 3 compatible. Also even supported the T1 VDG if you wanted true lowercase, if you knew how to set the boot file right. Booting from a real floppy drive, and this is like stock. So this is like OS9, 30 millisecond track to track, which is the slowest speed possible. But real hardware.
Yep.
No MAME in this thing. I remember one of the first things I patched was that stupid 30 millisecond track to track to 6.
Oh
right
yeah,
off
I
the bat.
went neat, neat, and neat, neat, neat. That was so cool.
It's quieter and faster. And all but the very first Tandy disk drives from 1981
Right.
could handle 6 millisecond, and even those could handle 20. I don't know why they didn't default to 20. None of their drives only worked at 30.
It is nice to hear it again, though.
Old times.
Next up, we have some updates from Jeff Noyle, formerly of Oblique Triad, and some of their CoCo 3 games, if you remember those from the late 80s, early 90s. And he's been working on this game called Myth Fair, which is like a modern Ultima-style clone. So this will be far beyond even Gates of Delirium that DICOM did, or the Seventh Link that Jeff was involved with at Oblique Triad with, along with 2 other programmers. But this is using a lot more modern stuff like auto mapping and saving multiple games at once if you want to stay with different states. Animations far beyond, like with lightning effects and all kinds of stuff. We've actually shown some video parts of it before. And the cool thing about this one, it will run on a 512K CoCo 3 and on an IBM PC running Windows. And the exact same files and save games files work on both. So you can like play it at home on your CoCo 3, and then if you're taking a plane ride with your laptop with Windows, you can just throw the save file over there and actually pick up the game exactly where you left off, and it looks the same. And then you can pick it back up after you get off the plane and put it back on your CoCo and continue playing it there. So what he's showing here is some new menu stuff he's got at the beginning. And you'll see some of the stuff here, like as quick load, save to slot, enter for more if you have more save ones, and return. And it actually shows you a little snapshot of where your character was left off in the save state. So like here he's in front of a sign by mountains, and here he's by the entrance to a valley, and here he's on the edge of a river or lake or something. So it gives you an actual visual cue. And then the second screenshot he shows here actually tells you what time of the day that your save state was at, what day and year it was within the game, and what part of the map you were on. So you can actually kind of, take a look quickly and see which one you want to load. Like if you have some alternate ones you save because you're not sure if you're doing stuff in the right order, or maybe you need certain objects to do this, but you can kind of explore ahead on this alternate save path you've got. It's looking really, really good. I mean, we've shown some of the stuff before here, and this is quite far advanced from Seventh Link. This is like,
did you get the warning on this screen?
Pardon me?
Did you get the warning on this screen?
Warning of?
Because if it's telling you to keep track of not only the day, but what year you've been playing the game.
That just means you're invested.
Right.
How big is this game?
Well, Gates of Delirium, I played for 4 months before I won that one. I've never have won Seventh Link, and I've played that game for probably months too. So
A year or two is the thing that might happen.
yeah, I'm really looking for this one though, because like I said, some of the effects he's put in here, not just like animated water like some of the other ones did, but characters going between 2 different positions fighting or something like that. But he's got like lightning effects and snow and all kinds of stuff that comes out. And it looks like a more modern game. It looks like something you'd see in a PC in the late 90s or something.
Just from the title screen, I mean, Myth Fair, nicely shaded, 3D.
Yeah, he's been working on this for most of the year, and he's expecting to have it out next year, or this year now, 2026. It's supposed to be up later this year, so, and it's going to be free, I think. I don't think he's charging.
The background effects are pretty cool, like the smoke effects and like the rain.
Yeah,
it's like whoa. The little details are like.
Yeah, like he's pushing this genre of game way beyond anything we've seen before. Paladin's Legacy, Gates, Delirium, Seventh Link, etc. It's it'll be like the premiere of this style of game on the CoCo 3. Period. Mark, if you have the link to his blog that actually has some of his animations, you can throw in the chat for those who have not been following us the last year and have seen some of these updates.
Good idea.
Next after that, CoCopedia, which has been kind of like not working for people recently. And this is ran by Huffman. What he's discovered, and I think Rick, you showed the chart he did of what kind of hits he was getting on the media wiki itself, because this is a site hosted elsewhere that Alan uses media wiki to handle for the CoCopedia. And you can see in the last 3 months, all of a sudden the usage like shot up 5 times or something stupid. And that's hit
Right.
my site too, but months ago, where all of a sudden mine went over and they started throttling me and stuff. They didn't shut it off,
Not
but they definitely slowed
5
it down.
times, more like 30 to 80 times.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he was
As
getting
the
about a
chat,
gig a month.
chat whatever snorfs up the internet. It's
Yeah.
And it was all coming from China, I guess, all the new stuff, right? If I remember.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because they had the fewest restrictions on snorfing up the internet there.
So basically, he made a public announcement both on Discord and here on Facebook that I'm showing on the screen right now that he figured out what's going on. There's nothing he can really do about it with the provider directly to filter, though they should be able to do some stuff to filter out some of this crap. So what he's done right now is he's added in a username and password that basically keeps all these bot things out. So now that, you know, it's back up, you can actually access it. You can actually get to read things, etc. So the password and stuff he's got right on the post. It's also been posted in the Discord. So if you guys want to grab those, you can actually go hit the Wikipedia. You do need your own account with your own username and password if you still want to do editing of entries on the Cocopedia. And I have that capability. I haven't used it in quite a while.
And there's one glitch still with this ad hoc temporary defense setup. If you do a page edit and add links to external things, the media wiki will try to prompt you for a math puzzle to solve to, you know, basically prove to be a human before it'll post the edited page with the link. And that math puzzle does not work with the stop the bots login at the moment. And Alan's aware of it, and it's just a temporary thing until the full defense Barbican is put in line here.
Okay.
The hordes will be tamed.
Yeah, so at least it's accessible again. That's the main point, because a lot of people were just thinking the whole site was dead because they couldn't get on.
Right, you can read it again, so that's something.
Okay. A couple updates in the chat. First of all, thanks, Marco, for posting the link to distantsystems.com, which is where MythFair, you can follow along where Jeff's been doing there with sample videos, etc. I also mentioned Paul Shoemaker popped in. He said, yes, he is doing a CoCo 1.2 port of Quarks. So there will be a CoCo 1.2 version and the CoCo 3 version. Next up, Retro Byte Meister. I love that name. Put up a video on YouTube on how to service a CCR81 computer cassette recorder. This is one of the ones that was used on the CoCo. It's one of the later ones because I think the original ones were CTR51 or something like that. Wasn't the original, or CCR80 or something like that. There's a few other models that Candy brought out at different times, and they kind of the much shrunk one later. But basically, he goes through here and he says how to repair it without, you know, destroying your tapes. And he shows you how to take it apart and how to replace belts and other things here too. So if any of you want the nostalgia of loading stuff off cassette, I'm not quite sure why.
This is the nasty one that's like 3 layers with the belt in the middle. Okay, I gotta see this. I gotta see this one.
Of these
Because
wires
the
here,
older tapes, the
and
belt
take this
went on
guy,
from the
the
bottom.
shield
But
here
this
off.
one, okay.
It tells
Nice.
the recorder that we have mains power. The take-up reel, which is this guy, not move, is this here. So here's rewind. Rewind engages a gear that lives over there.
So he gets into pretty good technical detail on the insides there. So yeah, if you want to learn how to do this stuff, it's definitely worth it. I personally, I'm not going to go back to cassette. The only time I've gone back is when I found some old computer tapes of stuff that I wanted to get copies of because they're not on the archive, or maybe stuff I personally had written back in the day and wanted to check to see if it was anything worthwhile. So I've used it for that. I still have one up here. I can't remember if it's a CCR80 or an 81. But the CoCo SDC for me has pretty well replaced that. And there are SD card-based systems like for the Dragon, can't remember what the name of it is off the top of my head, but that supports cassette images as well. And I think, what's the other one? There's another SD one that's multi-platform where you get those little adapters for the different cartridge plugins, and it actually supports cassette files too, as well as hard drive.
Backbit.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. But if you're trying to pull stuff off real cassettes and you have one of these and you want to know how to fix it, this is definitely a video worth checking out. Next up, speaking of Brazil, and I think Juan is actually a member of this group. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but Club Color Brazil, but basically the CoCo and CoCo Clone Club in Brazil. Erico and a bunch of others are, of course, members of this that we see on some of their retro shows. And of course, Erico's been active doing all kinds of cool, really cool games using Microgames Basic as well. But what they have here is a new list of files of disk images that are in the Color Computer Archive that they have actually modified the instruction screens to be in Portuguese. So if you're in Brazil or you speak Portuguese, or you're in Portugal for that matter, I guess, and you have some CoCo stuff and you just don't read English well enough to understand the directions for the games here's a list of a whole bunch that have been converted over that you can download and see it and read it in your native tongue. I think we have some French versions of these too in the past, so that's cool. Next up, and this actually I just saw this one this morning, so I added it quickly. So any of you who downloaded the show notes here right at the beginning of the show, you probably want to re-download it because I've added this. But PW32X has posted a new blog entry in his Downland Unearthed series. This time he's covering how the background terrain is constructed. So he's gone through sprites and how they use the alternate pixels, I should say, to do artifact colors. But now he kind of explains the algorithm that's used to actually draw the actual background screens with the ropes and the walls, the floors, and the ceilings, etc. And there's 22 different basic shapes that he uses to draw all these different things. He goes in, he's doing his technical deep dive of how the internals of Downland work, and this has been a great series to watch. And of course, I think he's doing an actual port of this to modern systems too, because it's one of the premier games on the CoCo that didn't appear anywhere else. This one, Dungeons and Dagger, that's another one.
Right, and he's given the now unknown category of download speed runs a good boost here, because I think he's got some clues in there.
There's some people that have actually played Downland and wrapped it like 3 times in a row on the same game. I have never even completed the first one.
Well,
I've come close.
I've kind of seen the concept of speed running it, where you can jump against the wall and jump back before you hit the wall, and
there's where you can hang on the wall to get out of the
that.
acid drops and then jump back. But you have to time it right, otherwise you just plummet to your death.
Right, but we never knew exactly why, and I think he might be exploring that now, where maybe we can. Because that was always my jam, but I'm not so good at it now that I'm old. But maybe if I have enough cheating tips.
Yeah. So the next 2 here are kind of MC10 ones. So Jim Gary, we covered some of the game ports he's did this past week, and he also did a couple ports that we covered earlier here that were just released from Family Computing Magazine. So the first one is that New Year's Eve, and now he's modified it to be 2026 instead of 1985, like the original one was. And he's kind of like fudged around with the shapes of it and stuff here, but it's the same port from Joey Latimer from the same issue as was done by others. Here you set up the timer and actually uses the timer function to actually calculate when New Year's hits. It basically picks some different graphic shapes. Sometimes it's a repeating pattern of the same character string value for semigraphics. But the same song and stuff. Sometimes it's doing multicolored, different kinds, different backgrounds. So basically, I ported the one we saw earlier, but now there's an MC10 version. And the second one he converted was a Santa Claus one, also using semigraphics. And you can see some of the ways he's actually setting up here using strings. Help speed things up a bit. There you go. Santa's sad and then Santa happy.
Mad Santa.
That's the naughty or nice look on his face, I guess, as the kids come up.
No white mustache.
Yeah, I mean, he could have, but it'd be pretty thick because you have to have white and black. You can't mix white with
and
orange.
he's
Every second vertical
patch.
pixel. So,
I mean, he shaved the soul patch too, so it must be a modern Santa.
It's Amish.
Yeah, it doesn't have no ball at the end of the hat.
Okay, so that's it for the news. I'm just going to jump straight into going through the upcoming shows. Once again, if anybody has any I'm missing, please let us know. And we'll add them. So the first one is a Tandy Retro Show. This is a virtual show that is hosted by none other than Mark Overholzer. This will be January 24th and possibly
4th.
the 25th if they get enough. Any updates on that, Mark?
No, I haven't had too much action. I've got about 6 groups that are interested, so it'll probably be just kept on the 24th at the time being. So I need to get with all of you and get you scheduled into a slot. But I will be doing that here in the next day or so.
Yeah, I know the one that Brian Weasler and I are going to be kind of hosting will be the CoCo 4s, and we're going to get some other people in to show off their various CoCo 4 systems. We have to figure out when we're doing it because it's probably going to be about 2 hours all told.
That's a couple of things because I promised to do the CoCo 4 thing, and I've also wanted to do another thing. But if we do it all on Saturday, that's going to be one long Saturday. So
yeah, because we're also still having the regular show.
Yeah, we might break it up still. So we'll see what works out for people. So trying to be accommodating.
Wait, contact Mark at what's his email address you got set up for this?
Registration at candyretroshow.com. It's in green there at the bottom of the paragraph.
Right there.
Right there.
And these will all be live streamed. So if any of you don't have anything to present, but you want to catch them, you'll be able to watch it on our YouTube channel for the CoCoNation show. Plus, do you have a second one you're doing, the Glen side?
Yeah, the Glen side. We'll probably also do on the Glen side too. We did last year. So
what do they use for podcasts now? Is it still Blue Jeans or something else?
No, they're using Zoom.
Just Zoom? Okay.
Yeah, just using Zoom. Yeah. And I don't know if they're using the stream to I don't know if they're using the stream to YouTube, so doesn't matter. It works with our stuff. So
yeah.
Continue.
Okay. Next up after that is VCF Montreal, which is coming up quick, January 24th to the 25th. So that's only like 3 weeks away at this point. This is at the Royal Military College of Saint Jean sur Richelieu, which I'm pronouncing absolutely wrong, I'm sure. This one actually has some CoCo presenters now booked to give some seminars. And there's multiple CoCo people are going to be there. Sockmaster said he is going to be there. Frederick is going to be there. Henry Reitfeld is going to be there. Who's the other one?
Mr. James, if you'd like to be there.
Yeah, and a few others too, I think, as well. But if you take a look at the speakers, you'll be able to see a few here, like one about the Apollo comm systems to go to the moon. That'd be a cool one. I'm sure even Ron would like that one. The computers they use in the Apollo missions.
Oh, yeah.
Here's one on the Amiga, one on the Naboo network, another one on the Naboo, MCM 70, retrospective 6 years working on Blue Retro, 64, Canadian Basic Retro Game Archaeology by a rather famous person, Jim Gary. Starting a LAN party group. Fabian Rodriguez, that's another CoCo guy that's going to be. He's actually doing a presentation from CoCo to Community, the color computer then and now. And he's doing it in French and English. So that's kind of cool too. There's the French versions of those. But yeah, it looks like it'll be pretty good stuff. I know Sockmaster's not planning on having a table. I don't think most of them are, but Henry Reitfeld's going to have a table. Now he's going to be showing some stuff that's non-CoCo, but he's already invited the others. If you guys want to bring some CoCo stuff and show it at his table, please do so. And I don't know if John Kowalski, Sockmaster's listening here, but he used to have a demo that he showed at PenFest, and Nick will remember this, of a CoCo 3 rotating on a pedestal on the screen. Full frames, like full screen frames, and it's like I don't know how many frames it was, but it required 2 meg of RAM to store it all. And it looked awesome. And I'm hoping he can bring that, or at least, arrange with somebody to bring that to run, because I haven't seen it since. And John, if you're listening, I would love to see if you put that in the archive, because 2 meg is getting to be pretty commonplace nowadays for some of us CoCo guys. So definitely would be worth running. Next up after that is the Indy Classic Retro Show, which is March 21st to 22nd at a new location this year, the Windham Indianapolis Airport Hotel in Indianapolis, Indiana. So if you're flying in, it's right there. Don't even have to drive around that much. The show includes Randy Kindig of Floppy Days Podcast as one of its hosts, and there's some other ones that I forgot to write down. My apologies. But we've actually seen some coverage from the show. I think we had some people kind of taking pictures and stuff, and maybe some video clips last couple of years actually. So it looked like a pretty good general, retro show that's not a VCF officially. Next one after that, of course, is the Big Kahuna CoCo Fest. April 24th to 25th. This is on the new schedule of being basically Friday and Saturday rather than Saturday and Sunday, which went really well last year. Only 110 days left, as you can see by the countdown timer here. Special hotel rates and stuff are already enacted, so you can actually get onto those. I don't know if Grant has had any updates since on auction stuff and that kind of thing, or the meals, etc. But yeah, it's coming up quick. That exact same weekend is the very first official Latin American VCF, which takes place April 24th to 26th in Bahia Blanca, Argentina, which is way south in South America. So if you're down there, definitely would like to attend this one. It's the inaugural version of this particular VCF. So that's the first one in Canada and the first one in Latin America, both in the same year. So I'm glad to see the VCF is spreading around. They already have ones, of course, all over the States. They have several in Europe, including Germany. So it's good to see that VCF spreading. There's one in Australia as well, or maybe even two. And I think COVID really kind of helped people get back into retro, and that's actually spawned a few shows. It also killed a few shows temporarily, as I'm sure Mark is aware, but that one's back. In fact, we'll be covering that one right now. VCF PNW.
Yay!
Because that's been gone, I think, since 2020 or 2021 or something, right?
Since 2020. Yeah. It was scheduled for 2020, but then canceled.
Yeah. So that's happening May 2nd to 3rd at the what community center?
Well, Community Center.
Yeah. That's another one I keep forgetting how to pronounce. So glad you're here to help with that, Mark. And as they mentioned on their little scrolling banner here on their website, you can see that program schedule, exhibitor registration, accommodation details coming soon. Mark, have you heard anything? I don't know if you're on their committee or if you're in their mailing list or something, if they've got anything to announce yet or pre-announced.
I have been on the mailing list in the past, but haven't seen anything this year. So
okay. So that's it for the upcoming shows. So that's technically the end of the news segment. I did want to mention one thing I didn't put in the news, though, but some people on the CoCo Discord, the Amigos Discord, and some other Discords I'm on, I'll mention that Stewart Cheifet, the host of Computer Chronicles, which is a show I watched a ton when I was growing up, or even in my young adulthood, passed away. He'd actually had been attending somebody as a speaker some years ago, and he was on top of all kinds of retro stuff. He actually interviewed people about retro machines on one of his later shows in 91 or 92, and actually interviewed some of the CoCo people on one of the episodes there, and they're going through like OS9 and general CoCo stuff, which is really cool. He was definitely a friend of the retro community as a whole. Back when he was doing it, it wasn't retro. It was like all the cutting edge new stuff. Windows got announced and a Mac does this, that kind of thing. But he was really good for the computer industry, and he ran that show or hosted that show on PBS, I think, for like 20 years or something total. So it's sad to hear he passed away. I think it was 87. So a good long run, but sad and a little bit unexpected because he'd been, talking with people, emails and stuff here not too long ago. But a shout out to him. He was one of the greats as far as covering tech stories. And that's all I have.
It was a pleasure having you back.
Yes.
Yep. I'm hoping to be a bit more here. I'm going to be setting up a second computer at the girlfriend's house. So we'll hopefully be able to sneak in some more shows here. And Nick, you've been gone for a while too. Is everything okay with you? Just want to check in, or you just been too busy doing that game? So you're working on a CoCo 1 and 2 game. He may be napping again. I just noticed
polishing that new Ferrari from the pinball project.
Yeah, from the pinball game. I'm hoping he can make it out to the Amigos and be on live with them for their review of it on the 25th. And I see Sloopy has joined us as well.
Finally.
Jesus.
Oh, he is alive.
Ooh, Sloopy's alive. Yay.
What? I've been here.
Nick, we're going to need you to speak up here in a minute.
Or we can just end the show here. I've got stuff I got to do today too.
Okay, well, let's go ahead.
So, did I miss anything on the show?
Nope.
No, nothing.
It was a full show.
Oh. Well, can you do it all again then?
This concludes another episode of the CoCoNation, the world's leading live interactive talk show featuring the Technicolor computer. For all things the CoCoNation, visit us on the web at thecoconation.com. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to show@thecoconation.com. The CoCoNation show would not exist without the community and its cast and crew. The CoCoNation theme song, copyright 2022, D. Bruce Moore, mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore. The CoCoNation is over. Join us on the CoCo Discord server. CoCo forever.
It's really weird. We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Look at that purple
All right,
keyboard.
well,
It's what?
what's that?
Look at that purple keyboard.
Bob Emery's purple
Where?
keyboard.
Oh, mine.
Oh.
Emery's.
Bob's building something. Imagine that.
Yeah. Wow.
Builder.
Ooh, purple-y.
Pernurple.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
Very nice. Is that like a premium royal one? I mean, you're going to get big bucks for that one?
Oh yeah, extra for the purple keyboard.
Yeah.
It's
Royal
royal.
flush.
It's purple.
Royal
Now
purple.
Now it needs some gold highlights.
I almost ordered it with gold, but
Ooh,
Did you
no,
gold
it
really?
cost
solder.
a lot.
There you go.
This is a big board for that.
No, I mean
Oh.
purple with gold highlights. That's like royalty is in the extreme.
Right?
Yeah,
Well, looks like Brian Blake wants one.
it would fit in the White House with all the gold he has on the walls and stuff.
Hmm.
Have you guys seen that?
Do you see the purple at all when you have the everything else in place?
You'll know
With
it's
the
there.
3D printed bezel, it's a lot harder, but you can catch hints of it in between the keys.
Okay.
You need RGB
Okay.
lights under the bezel so you can see the
Yeah.
purple.
Yeah, you need some LED
Oh.
lights.
White LEDs along all the edges. Sure.
Yeah, backlight the purpleness.
All right, well,
there's
let's go ahead and
somebody got worse. Sorry up there.
We probably should.
Mhm.
all right. Well, we should probably say goodbye.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Sayonara.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.